Action!
Hello and welcome to episode 40 of Your Average Critics, joined once again by Chris and Obi. We're going to have probably a bit of an extended episode today because we were a bit short for time last week and didn't really cover off 2017 in as much detail as we'd have liked. So we'll talk a little bit more about the films we really enjoyed and also talk about TV series, best and worst or most disappointing, as well as reviewing some of the most recent films. And yeah, just a general catch-up. But first, I guess we'll talk about some movie news. So, Chris, you had some Marvel-related news.
Yeah, so there's quite a few bits of pieces of news. So today, last week we found out that there's a Black Widow film in talks, and Scarlett Johansson to reprise her role as Black Widow. So that makes me think: is it going to be about her past? Probably, but not too young.
It would make sense for it to be.
Yeah, not about too much, and not when she's like baby, kind of like a child, but maybe more like you're not going to see her origins of like her family. I don't think, but maybe you will. But
Because there is, which one is it? Is it Winter Soldier where they kind of suggest her past?
Yeah,
that she was kind of.
So in the Avengers film, they suggest that her and Hawkeye have quite of a heavy past, because obviously when he gets mind controlled by Loki, she's like, well, I'm going to go in and save him because he's my mate, kind of thing. And then it's suggested that she has some past to do with ballet and the Russian killings.
She was like sterilised and that. She's got no kids.
Yeah, and she also has she can talk several languages. She's an assassin of all sorts of martial arts. So it makes me feel like she's probably been taught by several different teachers. And you guys are really tall compared to me. What the hell? This is
just sat low down, Chris.
My days.
So, do you know what I think? I think that obviously she's too big now. She's too big to be on the small screen now. But a Marvel Netflix TV series about Black Widow in the part, being an agent and stuff, would be very good.
Do you know what? I think a mini series would be better. Kind of like End of the Effing World. Like do like a small mini series of it. I think would be better as well.
Even just like 8 episodes, 6 episodes, 8 episodes. I think would be really good.
Or
just up from like when she becomes like a agent or whatever, or like just before, and then her going through that, and then maybe it ends with her being like picked up by Nick Fury.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Like her and Hawkeye, or maybe
they could carry it on though. They could do a series about her. They could do a series about Hawkeye. You could technically do a series about Spider-Man because you actually don't know what happened to him prior to him meeting Tony Stark. You could do it about.
Yeah, but I think the origin of Spider-Man's been done.
It has been, but like I'm saying, if you wanted to do a mini series of it, I mean, you could. I mean, they're going to go and do Punisher season 2, which
I know.
I mean,
the only one I look forward to Daredevil series 3. Just because Fisk is still about, and I quite like him as a villain.
Yeah, but it's just
actually you posed a good question the other day. It wasn't on the pod, was it? It was in the chat. It was who's the best Marvel Netflix villain? And I said Cottonmouth, but then. You know, he wasn't in it for very long. 6 episodes.
I don't know. I kind of like the villain in The Punisher, but I don't think he really made himself known till very later on in the series. So
it's kind of obscure who the villain was.
So I think he might be a better villain season 2 if he's more front run. Yeah.
Because I originally thought that Micro was going to be the villain. Because when he's like calling Punisher and things.
I'll tell you what, I still think Micro is such a six-sided character. Because I think, honestly, I think it would have fallen apart if Punisher was on his own in that thing. Or if he was with Karen, I think that would have just gone.
Yeah.
Because I don't appreciate Karen's character.
Karen gets no ratings from
me.
Absolutely zero ratings from me.
I'd also say that the what's their names? In Iron Fist, the dad. Who's
Meacham.
Mr. Meacham I thought was a sick villain, but again, he's not in it enough for me to say he's the best villain. So it's a bit of a hard one.
I would say I think it's Wilson Fisk only because like, as well as being like obviously he's really powerful, like you know like money wise and business wise. He's also like super strong.
Yeah.
Like I remember that. I think it was it season 2 where Daredevil went as Matt Murdock to like interview him in prison, and then. Will Smith just was like proper like fucking him up, like
Yeah.
one hand chucking him against the wall and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. And also I think he's actually quite layered because he showed like his past where he
Yeah.
killed his
Yeah.
dad and all stuff like that.
And he's quite charismatic. Like that's what I think a good villain is.
It's quite,
Yeah.
I think it seems like he's quite fragile as well, like in the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. I think I would have said, like, I shouted David Tennant in the WhatsApp, but I thought about it a
That's
bit
a good
more.
shout, though.
He is. I think he is
Yeah,
a good
Kilgrave.
villain. Yeah, Kilgrave. I think he is a good villain, but then I think when they were trying to look back at his past, I don't think it was enough. I think
found it a bit annoying.
yeah.
I think
yeah.
I just didn't really like his power because he was just like making everyone do everything that he wanted.
Yeah.
It was a bit too easy.
He's
yeah.
OP, wasn't he?
Yeah,
just
and then
didn't like it.
and it was so easily overcome as well. It's all of a sudden like you thought like she just walked in there and she was like, yeah, it's not affecting me anymore. Cool.
But back to Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a bit?
Right.
Is it a bit late for a Black Widow solo film?
Oh.
Like considering she's been in it since, was it Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2? When
I feel like it
she,
was Iron Man.
She's in Iron Man
I
1.
think it's Iron Man 1.
yeah,
She's been in
because
it
she
since
just
the
kind
very
of
beginning.
appeared. Like she's been in quite a lot of the films.
Oh no, was
bits
it
and
Iron Man
pieces.
2? It wasn't Iron Man.
It was whenever that his house gets destroyed.
That was Iron Man 2. That was Iron Man 3.
I think it's Iron Man 2.
No, his house gets destroyed in Iron Man 3.
I think his house gets destroyed quite a lot actually.
It's Iron Man 3 that his house gets destroyed
Okay.
because he says, "Come and get me." Then to the.
I think she
to the
appears in
man-
it before that though.
Yeah, she appears
Yeah.
in number 2 because she's the secretary.
Yes.
And he looks in her background and
Yes.
stuff. I thought he was in. I thought she was in number 1 with Nick Fury at one point, but actually Nick Fury only appears at the very end
Yeah.
of season 1.
She Captain America right at the end as well.
She's in Captain America.
The first Avenger right at the end. No.
No, I don't think so. Nick Fury's there because
Oh.
he finds the body and then he says he goes up to him in the training room, doesn't he? So yeah, I think she was in Iron Man 2 onwards.
Yeah.
Although
But I think I've left it too late.
yeah.
Because we've kind of touched on her past and she's become quite an established character that she's got like, I thought she was going to get Hawkeye, then we found out Hawkeye had a family and then she's kind of got this thing with Banner. And I don't know whether she's like strong enough as a character and also whether Scarlett Johansson's strong enough as an
carry
actress
the
to
film.
lead
Yeah.
the film because
I don't think so.
when she was the lead in Ghost in the Shell, that was not a good film from
Did
last
you watch
year.
Lucy.
Yeah.
I must admit, it's like 25% her fault and 75% the script writing. I think.
that is genuinely one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Do you know what?
So
I think it
boring.
has so much
shit.
promise, yeah. Because
the concept was
it was like
interesting.
they were like building on Limitless,
Limitless, yeah.
and they were like saying how yeah, if you could do all this, you can like
Turn into a USB.
slow time. Yeah,
Turn into a USB.
a tree, then a USB, mate. It
Oh
wasn't
my
like
God.
she just turned into it was
was
the
so
dumbest
bad.
ending, and it was just But I mean, yeah, she's kind of a main character in The Island.
What's the island? Wait, what?
Isn't it The Island? She's with.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were still talking about Marvel. I thought it
No,
was like
I'm talking about Scarlett Johansson.
Right,
yeah,
right.
her and Ewan McGregor. They're kind of both
Oh,
main
okay.
characters in that, and she does alright in that.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'm interested in the character enough to want to see a solo film based on, the cameos.
I'm kind of surprised she said yes to it. To be honest, it's a lot of work already been in these other films to like jump on a solo one, I suppose. But
I think,
so the others all do the solo films, don't they? So why shouldn't she?
yeah.
But I
guess
thought
it's
they would
important.
proper push the because obviously Miss Marvel's been in works way before even the Wonder Woman was put into works. And I think
Is it Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel? Because there are two characters.
I think you can call her. She's Captain Marvel. Yeah, because Miss.
There is a Miss Marvel. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
there is. Yeah. I think she's Captain Marvel, who is also, funny enough, what Shazam's name is also in DC. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, because I think they're going to push her as like a leading
Yeah.
lady in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I heard that they're going to make it so it's all like to do like all female cast kind of thing. Oh, did I misread
No,
that?
because
somewhere?
Nick Fury's going to be a part of it, isn't he?
Yeah, but he might recruit her.
Is this a Black Widow film or Captain Marvel?
Oh, actually, that might be Black Widow film. That's going to be like a. What one of the films is?
I don't mind either way.
Yeah, I don't mind,
I'm
yeah.
which one it
No, I
is.
can't remember. It's one of them, but fine, but do it. I don't mind, but I
There's
just
not that many
I just don't
female
understand why they-
characters in
Yeah.
the Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, sorry. And that's it.
you
Squirrel
got
Girl.
huh?
Squirrel Girl.
Oh yeah, but she's not in it yet.
I thought
Is she?
isn't that going to be a TV show? Is it Squirrel Girl? No, sorry, ignore me.
There was a piss take out of it on SNL,
I thought
where the Rock
no,
was.
ignore me while I Google it.
Um,
It's a film and No, it's a TV show, and someone who I know is going to be... Someone who I recognise is going to be in it. Sorry.
Yeah,
she gonna be
it's
in, like,
meant,
The
it's
Runaways
meant
or
to be
something?
Pitch Perfect girl, isn't it?
What, Anna Kendrick?
Yeah, I thought it was meant to be Anna Kendrick being Squirrel Girl.
Either way. Yes, so I think they are lining up Miss Marvel to be one of the front runners with Doctor Strange, which I don't think I'm that keen for.
However, it might all alter now because they've got X-Men, they've got Fantastic Four, they've now got the full Illuminati, which
Illuminati
is
confirmed.
Xavier, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
But then that might lead to Tony Stark being in the cinematic universe more, just behind the scenes a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Black Widow does have her own solo film, it probably suggests she'll be in the next phase of the MCU.
I wouldn't see why not.
I think she's a good supporting character. I don't dislike her character. I just don't know if she's strong enough to be one of the front runners. And then also, I've lost my train of thought.
Can I interject whilst Judy's trying to
Yes.
You're right. It's Anna Kendrick who's going to play it. She's from
Squirrel,
yeah. And it was going to be a TV show, but apparently now whatever company was going to take it up has dropped it, and now they're looking for a new place to ship it around. The TV show's going to be called The New Warriors.
Oh yes, I did remember reading about this actually. Yes.
Yeah. But what I was going to say actually was, if Black Widow's going to maybe be in the next phase, Chris Hemsworth said that he has kind of found his interest in Thor again because Ragnarok kind of took it in a different direction.
Yeah.
He said he enjoys playing it now.
Because Ragnarok did well, basically.
Well, yeah, and I think, the character's a bit more light-hearted, and I think he's just enjoying it a bit more.
I think that's his character a bit more than in real life. I think he's quite a bubbly person.
Yeah, and it works for Thor. For,
it does.
Character. So he said he'd be up for more films, even though his contract runs out after Infinity Gauntlet.
I think they'll say yes to him. Unless they get that, that's because I think in the the comics starts some weird alien creature takes up the mantle of Thor.
Okay.
So I can't imagine that being going down too well, but we'll see. I guess. I mean,
I'd like to see more of Valkyrie. I thought she was quite a good character.
She was interesting.
And the whole Valkyrie war.
Yeah.
All that.
I can't imagine she's dead, but we'll see.
No, I don't think she.
No.
Well, she was on the ship, wasn't she?
Valkyrie?
At the end.
No, didn't she get destroyed by that big monster? They brought a big monster to Ragnarok.
Suitor.
And then didn't they destroy her?
I don't think so.
I'll have to rewatch it. Hopefully it'll be on DVD soon.
Yeah, it's meant to come out.
Are you talking about Hela?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Valkyrie
Valkyrie's
was
the other woman who's on the ship with him. Yes, sorry.
But I don't think Hela's dead either, to be fair.
Sorry.
So leading on then, so the Avengers 4 has finished production.
Yeah.
You mentioned.
Yeah, Avengers 4 has finished production, and I suppose in line with that, we could also say about Deadpool moving to an earlier release date as well, of 18th of May. New Mutants moving back by nearly a year to 6 months to 22nd of February 2019, and Gambit, well, God knows what's happening with Gambit because
it's not going to happen.
They lost their director.
That film's not going to happen. It's been in the works for years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
So do you think these changes are Disney driven or Fox driven?
I think that potentially New Mutants might be scheduling issues, because I heard that Game of Thrones has moved its scheduling back. Oh, it's now 2019, and isn't Thingy in it?
Maisie Williams.
Yeah, and she's quite a lead character in it.
Yeah, but surely New Mutants was supposed to come out in April, so surely they would have already finished filming.
Yeah, maybe, because they like their scheduling, don't they? So maybe they've just put it in line with something else now.
I mean,
they're going to have to take up a lot. They're going to bring out a film every month now, aren't they? If they own Fox as well.
Yeah.
Why did they move? Why did they move Deadpool forward? What's the reason for that?
Well, I don't know. When was its original release date?
Like June or something.
Yeah, May, June.
First week of June, and now it's going to be the second week of May.
Yeah.
May this year.
Yeah.
So is that going to coincide with Infinity War?
Oh.
Infinity War's...
Yeah,
Infinity War's May, isn't it?
May, yeah.
Is it May? Or was it end of April?
Oh, is it the end of April?
I don't know. Let me do
Maybe they're going to overlap. But then that's not going to be a good idea. You don't want to release Deadpool.
They said that
shortly after.
Sorry, that article that you put on the group, they were saying that they didn't want Deadpool and New Mutants to clash in terms of theatrical releases or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
but they wouldn't, would they?
So I didn't understand what the.
Yeah,
Unless they're trying to incorporate now Deadpool into New Mutants or Deadpool into the MCU, which, can I just say, I'd happily have X-Men, I'd happily have Fantastic Four, but I don't think putting Deadpool in is a good idea because he's pretty much invincible.
Well, they're not going to have a 15 rated MCU film. I can't imagine that.
No, but they have said they'll stick with the rating for the Deadpool film.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, and New Mutants, and they need to keep those things separate, you know, because it looked like New Mutants would kind of be a strong horror. So you know, you're looking at a R-rated kind of
Film.
15 rated film.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's going to be released in the United States on the 4th of May.
Who's that? What's that?
That's Avengers: Infinity War.
Yeah, I don't, okay.
Can you look up as to
makes
why
even-
they did move it? The New Mutants.
That makes
Thank
even
you.
less sense because I posted that that article, which I can't remember where was it from, like Screen Rant or something. But it said that they kind of were speculating that New Mutants was pushed back because test screenings didn't do well, and that they wanted to make it scarier.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, but that's an entire
6
entire
months.
year.
Isn't it
Yeah.
6 months? Well,
Well, it was supposed to come out sometime in April and then February, so that's 10,
10
isn't it?
months, yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of... I hope it still kind of gets its release and it's not now Disney being like, well, we don't want this kind of scary film in the X-Men universe.
Yeah, well, only time will tell on that one, I think. Should we say more news, or do you want to...
Yeah, well, you had another Marvel
So,
related...
Black Panther is the most pre-booked cinematic film of the MCU in the first 24 hours. I hope it's really good, because the trailer actually does make it look quite good.
It looks really good.
I
and
said it again like 20 times. Even if it's shit, I'm still going to say it's good.
Yeah, like the Justice League.
Yeah, but
Justice League was good though.
because it seems like a key point in the Avengers 3 film as well.
Well-
And obviously he's quite an anchor character now, isn't he? Because he's trying to pull people back down to earth and shake people up and help them out. So yeah,
It's,
and
it's an important film on a lot of different levels.
he's trying to find himself as well, and it's quite historical in terms of actually like filmmaking, isn't it? As well,
like black superhero lead film, like mostly African American cast and crew and everything.
do you think, not based on Black Panther film, but do you think because of the Black Widow film they'll start making other like individual films like Hawkeye, Falcon?
Oh, I would
Maybe,
not.
but I hope not.
I wouldn't
you
want to
could do
see
it-
a Falcon or a Hawkeye film.
But would you like, because like, you know we said about series, would you like to see a Falcon origin series? Because he was in the army and stuff, wasn't he? And then he did have these wings prior to, or something.
He
didn't
flew
he?
something. He flew something.
Um,
Can I just quickly interject? So apparently this is for Deadpool being pushed up, or New Mutants or something like that. It's for New Mutants. Insiders say one reason for the change is for the studio to avoid having an overlap with X-Men movies in certain overseas markets where New Mutants and Deadpool 2 would have been in theatres at the same time.
Okay, but pushing it back by 10 months is a little bit.
unless we got the dates wrong, and New Mutants wasn't meant to come out in April.
No, we got them, bro.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah. I think if you kind of start giving every ancillary character like an origin story, it's just going to saturate it
That's a good word.
far too much.
Ancillary.
Fair play. Do
You
you,
know-
do you read the dictionary, mate? Because
Thesaurus, mate.
No,
thesaurus, yeah.
I'm just a learned. Like, I wouldn't really care much for a Scarlet Witch origin story or whatever. Like, flashes of them in the films they appear is fine. Like,
Yeah.
exploring it more throughout these films, yeah, but to see an entire film, no.
Yeah,
I
to
think
be,
they would.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go on.
I think they would only do it with characters that appear that they know that are popular. So like when Punisher. So like the first thing you talked to me about when you were talking about Dead of Season 2, you said, "Oh yeah, Season 2 is sick. The Punisher is sick."
Yeah.
Everybody loved the Punisher, so they said, "Okay, let's make a
Yeah.
TV series about Punisher." So like Falcon is an okay character, but he's not that popular. Hawkeye is all right as well,
Yeah.
but they're not like, people don't watch these films and think, "Oh yeah, I love Hawkeye."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
so like, it's the shit arrow kind
Yeah,
of thing.
You
Yeah,
could explore Hawkeye through Black Widow's origin film.
yeah.
And
I
also,
think that's
like-
the best way to do it. To be fair,
I think Nick Fury's origin is quite interesting. Like,
Well,
I don't know anything about it. Like,
they've meant to be making a film for years now. That's been pushed back as well. I've got the original actually, Nick Fury film with David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Wow. But then I think because Captain Marvel's set in the 90s, I think they might explore how he lost his eye. So I think that's
What?
kind
Did
of
you just say?
origin.
Captain Marvel set in the 90s.
and he lost his eye. It's a woman.
So it might
he's got
explain
one eye,
how he lost his eye. Like Nick Fury.
Oh, right. Cool, sorry, I'm with you now. I'm trying to find
And then also some characters, it's just good that they have a mysterious origin. Like, you don't have to know everything about every character. Sometimes it's just best to...
It's nice to find out later on, because then you get a reason as to why they do certain things in certain ways, I guess.
And then you also said that you've seen reports that Venom will be part of the MCU. Like, where did you...
Well, Joe put it in the group chat. Joe is active on our group chat sometimes. Joe put in that it might be part of the MCU. I don't know what he said. You guys probably have to get it up on your phone. I don't know, but I think we've said it several times. They've been toying with the idea that they would put it in the MCU. I don't see why they wouldn't. If you I don't see why you wouldn't. Like, honestly, if you're going to put Spider-Man in, you pretty much got to put Venom in, because at one point they're going to clash, aren't they? Because if everyone loves the Venom film, then they're going to be like, right, okay, then we're going to put Spider-Man versus Venom and it's going to be sick kind of thing, and then we're just going to be like, okay, it's part of the MCU.
Or would it be more interesting if Spider-Man, like in Spider-Man 3, kind of got the symbiote virus and became a villain to the Avengers?
Not to the Avengers, but to some of them, like almost like Civil War-ish kind of thing,
Yeah.
or like Thor having Hulk and some others come. Yeah.
What I read on Wikipedia was that the people who are making, obviously Wikipedia's not a reliable source, but the people who are making Venom have openly said that yeah, we want this to be part of the MCU, but then the people who control the MCU are like,
See how it goes.
yeah,
that's it.
Like, so I reckon it's going to be, if the film is good, they're going to be like, yeah, it's part of the MCU. If it's rubbish, they're going to be like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those films they can add later, because, I mean, this is pretty much not going to really involve Spider-Man, we assume.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be R-rated again, so there's like a rating issue.
I wonder if the Venom film will follow on from
Life.
Probably
not.
No.
But only
But that's a very interesting connection that we talked about at the time.
I've got some more news.
Yeah, go for it.
That Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be in the next Quentin Tarantino film.
I saw that. It was about the Charles Manson.
Yeah, Charles
okay.
Manson. Yeah.
Was there any other casting news?
That was all that Rotten Tomato posted on their Instagram page, and also
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it should be good. It should be really good. There was also a rumour circulating, I don't think it's true, that Lindsay Lohan might play Batgirl.
Oh, it's because she tweeted saying she wanted to play it.
Batgirl.
I think I said
Nah.
Well, it's only because Batgirl's ginger in it, so she's like...
Oh yeah, God, yeah. Lindsay Lohan, there's a thing called hair dye. There's plenty of other better actresses than you that can dye their hair.
Oh shit, son!
She was good in Parent Trap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
she was like 11.
And then there's a Teen Titans Go movie coming out.
What's that? Is that the DC?
Teen Titans.
That's a shitty cartoon.
Yeah, do you remember it? I
Aren't
don't
they
really
doing
like
a
it.
live action Teen Titans though?
Yeah, they are, but Teen Titans was a cartoon that a lot of people did love, and I never watched it.
The original one was good, but now they've remade it to like the original. Well, the cartoon that I grew up watching, Teen Titans, was just Teen Titans. It was like on Cartoon Network or whatever, or Tsunami. And then now they revamped it, and now it's Teen Titans Go, and like the cartoons look like so much shitter than they did before.
It's Teen Titans Go, not Teen Titans.
So,
yeah,
and it just looks like they're all like a lot smaller as well,
Yeah.
and it just looks like it looks more childish.
it's
kind of rubbish.
definitely for kids. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got
Some banging songs in it though.
is it?
What, is it a musical?
No, just
Nah.
like because Beast Boy in it just decides to randomly start singing sometimes.
Ah.
I used to watch some of the songs on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's quite a joke.
It's got Beast Boy, Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, and Robin.
Right.
What Robin? I don't know because I've never watched it. But
I think it's Tim Drake.
yeah.
So I play the Lego Marvel superheroes games.
Oh,
right?
yeah?
So the second one's out.
Yeah.
And I'm playing it, and actually I was to go off a little tangent, but obviously the first game is about the main Avengers. So obviously Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. They're all the most important characters. In this one, the most important characters are Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Wasp. And Giant Man. So I'm wondering if that's maybe a little...
Fudge is Giant Man.
It's Ant-Man, but bigger.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if that's maybe a little...
Snippet.
we can infer anything from
I
that
don't know.
about the future.
I think that's more of a promotion to kids to go and watch these films
Potentially.
rather than saying that these people are going to be lead. Because I can't imagine that Ant-Man is going to be a lead character
That is B-list. That's like Celebrity Big Brother. Now,
unless the Wasp suddenly amps it up, which I
don't know.
Rob, that's
skeptical on that.
proper beating.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean,
Doctor
I'm just-
Strange, yeah, I can see it. Captain Marvel, I can see it. Miss Marvel, we haven't even been introduced to.
I know.
And who's the other one?
can I ask you a question?
Wasp, yeah. I don't know.
So, on the assumption, I think anyway, that Iron Man and Captain America and probably Iron Man won't make it to the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Who do you want to be the new de facto leader of the team or leaders?
I don't know. Either Black Panther or Peter Quill.
Who's Peter Quill?
Star-Lord.
Oh, Star-Lord. Sorry, yeah.
And that's a very male-centric view.
Well, I don't.
But then maybe
I
Captain
can't,
Marvel.
I can't say anything about Captain Marvel because we haven't seen her
Yeah,
act as this character. I was a bit skeptical that is it
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson? I don't know because I haven't seen her play.
She wasn't that good in Free Fire.
No.
I haven't seen us play. I personally haven't seen us play a proper serious role.
Have you seen Room? Not the shitty Tommy Wiseau.
Also, are these Marvel films going to be serious?
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
I don't think they will.
Because wasn't she in Jump Street? 21 Jump Street.
20. Yeah.
She's the girl that.
Yeah, the love interest.
Yeah. But she's a good actress. I haven't seen her play a bad film, so yeah, maybe. I would put bar Free Fire, obviously, but.
I think she will be a very powerful character, so it'd be interesting.
She's going to be like the equivalent of Superman in the Marvel Universe, I think.
Yeah. As long as they don't, give it to Bucky Barnes or Falcon.
Oh, they are, aren't they? Oh, no.
No, they can't give it to
But based on like the Lego Marvel, I just wanted to mention like they have the Marvel. Some of the Marvel characters have the worst names. Like,
Yeah, I
because
know.
you get all like the little minifigures, and one of them's called like Chipmunk Hunk. One's called Koi Boy, as in koi's in the little fish.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, who
Great.
came up with
They-
these? Who came up with these
They
fucking
literally
names?
say anything, don't they?
And then I guess just to conclude the new. All right, sorry.
Paddington 2 is the second family film in history to get a Rotten Tomato 100% rating with 100 reviews.
What was first Toy Story 2?
Oh, I don't know, mate.
I think it was Toy Story 2. I think we should.
Toy Story 2? That's like the worst Toy Story.
I know.
What the Are you joking me?
Easily the worst.
I mean,
I know.
in my head, there's still a massive toss-up with which one's the best out of 1 and 3, but I think...
First one's better.
Yeah.
First one's sick.
First one's better, but the third one is just like...
So
Feels,
much,
innit?
innit?
Yeah, feels.
Oh,
But so
That's
the Golden
mad.
Golden Globe Awards occurred last week, I think, or potentially 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Whenever we end up
Yeah.
releasing this.
Oprah Winfrey made some like really powerful speech.
Yes.
And people saying that she should run for president in 2020.
Yeah.
Is the thing about The Rock running as president hoax?
I don't know. I think people just want it.
Yeah, 'cause I
know,
think there was
yeah.
I think there was a
So popular.
campaign for him and Tom Hanks to run as president. Like,
I think
come up,
politicians should be politicians and not.
but how do you?
actors.
How
I
can
agree.
you? I agree.
Or sports
But how do you
people.
determine whether they might have really? I suppose if you
I
got.
think you need to have some sort of political background, some sort of political experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be a
Because
politician.
Ronald Reagan was an actor,
actor,
and then
yeah.
he became president. Donald Trump was a cunt, still is a cunt, but now is president.
At least Reagan was a governor before he became.
Yeah.
Thingy.
I mean, you can change careers, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
If-
Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he's been a governor,
Yeah.
he was the governor of California. So if he wanted to run,
but
for
I don't
president,
think like The
obviously
Rock. If The Rock wanted to be president or a politician,
Yeah.
stop acting for a bit.
Yeah, he's got such a manic schedule, that man. I don't know how he even finds the time to do the stuff he does.
Only in America, hey. Anyway, back to the Golden Globes. So I'll go through the winners. So the best motion picture for drama was 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Fantastic, good show.
I still haven't seen it yet, but I'm hoping to this week.
What were the nominees?
The nominees were Call Me By Your Name,
You've seen it.
Dunkirk, The Post,
I haven't seen it. It's coming out
And-
soon though.
yeah, and The Shape of Water.
It hasn't come out yet in England.
The Post.
The Post
Yeah.
hasn't
No,
come out yet.
comes out in.
Why do you
End of
nominate
week.
something that hasn't?
This is
It's
based
come
on
out in
America.
already.
Right, yeah, of course.
So I mean, yeah. To be fair, I've only seen 2 of those films, Shape of Water and Dunkirk. But based on the hype, 3 Billboards seems like
Yeah,
a
Best
worthy
motion
winner.
picture.
If those are the
What does
nominees,
that?
I
What
would-
does
I
that
would say
mean
so.
though? What does best motion picture mean?
Best
Best
film, innit?
Yeah, but again, we
If that's the category, if they're the films that are in the category, then yeah, I'd say 3.
we had this discussion last year with the Oscars one, which is you can find on SoundCloud and iTunes. But like, I remember you asking like, what's the difference between best film and like best director and like best actor, and it's kind of just what's best out of the way it all works together.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, it's one of those.
You
kind of think if it's best film, it should win best actor, and but
All
it
this
doesn't always
stuff,
work like that. The Golden Globes split out best films. Between
nominees for this? Sorry, carry on with your saying.
So yeah, the Golden Globes kind of split out all their categories between drama and then musical and comedy.
Okay.
Which
It's a bit of a vague characterisation of stuff, isn't it?
I know. I don't understand that because then, where does horror fit? Where does thriller fit? Where does
there was a lot of commotion about Get Out being put up for the comedy, and people were like it was not.
And The Martian 2 years ago won the Golden Globe for best musical or comedy, even though it's neither, because they didn't think it would win best drama because I think it was up against The Revenant.
There was another film in this. I don't know. I'm completely forgetting, but I remember looking at the nominees and thinking like that's not a musical or a comedy. I don't understand why this person has won.
So the best motion picture for musical or comedy was Lady Bird. The other nominees are I, Tonya, which comes out in a few weeks. The Disaster.
Has Lady Bird come out here?
I think it was like a very limited
It's
release.
meant to be really good. Like Rotten Tomato even rave about it as well.
Yeah. Disaster Artist, Get Out, and The Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman should have won.
Really?
What was this for the category?
Best musical or
I've
comedy.
only seen two of them, and I prefer Greatest Showman to Disaster Artist. So.
You haven't seen Get Out?
Mm-mm.
You should watch Get Out.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I've seen those three, the latter three. I would have said Get Out was better, but then again, we've not seen Lady Bird or I, Tonya.
True.
Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama is Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside
She
Ebbing,
was really
Missouri.
good, to be fair. But what's the other people?
Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. She's very good in that.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep, because she has to be nominated for everything that she appears in. Michelle Williams for All the Money in the World. And Jessica Chastain for Molly's
Did you watch
Game.
All the Money in the World?
Yes.
Was it good?
Was it good?
It was average. Actually, it was below average.
Did Thingy do a good part taking over? From
Christopher Plummer did well, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it more later,
Yeah.
but it was average. Jessica Chastain, I thought she had a very good performance in Molly's Game.
She was good.
That's quite a strong category, I think. So I guess Frances McDormand
Yeah, she was good though. Frances McDormand.
Best performance by an actor in a motion picture drama. Gary Oldman won it for Darkest Hour.
To be fair, he was good.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty committed performance.
Yeah, and he encapsulated what I would picture Churchill to be. I don't know much about Churchill, but he did it pretty well.
He's such a versatile actor.
Like they put so much like
prosthetics in him.
the only reason you could tell it was him was because of his eyes.
Okay.
That's the only reason I could tell it was Gary Oldman.
But I really like him as an actor because he's in so like random performances. Like True Romance, he plays like a dreadlocked kind of wannabe black person.
He's in Harry Potter.
Yeah, and then he's in Fifth Element as like this weird alien thing.
The Dark Knight as a cop.
Yeah, so he's very versatile. And then the other nominees were Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Tom Hanks because he's Tom Hanks, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire, which I've never heard of.
I've seen the trailer.
What is it
good?
about?
It's about a lawyer, and that's all I can tell you. But yeah, I don't think it doesn't look very good to me, to be honest. I'll still watch it because it's Denzel. But
Best performance by an actress in a musical or comedy. Saoirse Ronan won it for Lady Bird. Judi Dench was nominated for Victoria and Abdul. Helen Mirren for The Leisure Seeker. Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, and Emma Stone for Battle of the Sexes.
that was it. Battle of the Sexes. I saw that Emma Stone was nominated for it, and I was like, that's not a fucking comedy
I know, it wasn't
or
fun.
a musical.
No.
I was thinking like, why the hell should she be nominated for that? That was the one.
Best performance by an actor in a musical or comedy. James Franco won it for The Disaster Artist. Daniel Kaluuya was nominated for Get Out. Steve Carell for Battle of the Sexes. Ansel Elgort for Baby Driver. And Hugh Jackman for The Greatest Showman.
What was that category again?
Hugh Jackman
Musical or comedy.
Should give it to Hugh Jackman.
I thought that's
So I
actually,
suppose Baby Driver, is a bit of a musical because he listens to music
that's
quite a lot.
comedy.
That's a very strong category.
that is a very strong category. And then based on that, I mean, I thought Ansel Elgort's performance was really good in Baby Driver.
However, it sounds like that James Franco pretty much encapsulated.
I think James Franco did.
And
James
did you see the speech? Like he was like, "I'm gonna bring him onto the stage," and then he went to go and take the microphone. He was like, "No, and then he started talking like him again on stage. I was like, flipping out.
But then there was also allegations came out about him afterwards for sexual impropriety.
I mean, it's not right.
But it's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's
That's
not.
That's a Whitney Houston bar, by the way.
so-
Don't think I'm trying. Anyone listening, I
It's
don't
not.
advocate that
It's
sort of
not
behaviour.
good at all. But
Do you
they could have said it. No, I'm just,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It kind of dipped and now it's coming back up again.
Yeah.
You know, even people
I mean,
like Aziz Ansari.
Anyone that's been affected by it should come out and say it. Just do it. You got to just be brave and just say it so people know and you can help other people, isn't it? Really, it's like.
But I guess maybe their thinking is when all this attention is on this person, that's when their story's going to get the most coverage.
True.
Probably
True.
an element of spite about it as well, to be honest. Like, because if someone's like, what's his face? James Franco wins the thing, and you were assaulted by James Franco, you're thinking, right, let me get to his highest point and then tear him down.
Yeah, because it's like, why should he win if
Exactly.
he's...
So,
Do you think if someone has been accused of something within this kind of Me Too movement, that they should not be entitled to win an award?
Accused.
At least, even if they later get proved that that they're kind of exonerated. Like,
But then does that not stop them from winning the award because they're not part of it because they've been accused even though it wasn't actually something they did?
Well, I guess if someone, I know this is nowhere near equivalent, but if a sports person has been accused of cheating, like drug cheating or something, like they kind of get suspended for a bit, don't they?
But you can't be accused of drug cheating. You have drug cheated. You do tests, and you are a cheater of drugs. It's just they say you've been accused because that is what I'm accusing you of drug cheating because I've seen your test.
Yeah.
And someone's accusing you of being handsy because you have been handsy, but then that's a whole different side of it because now it's the law's got to be taken into their hands and they've.
Because people like Casey Affleck settled, didn't he, for something, and he won an Oscar, and it's kind of like why are these people still being celebrated, and
that's wrong. I think,
their...
but on the flip side of that is you could say he settled outside of court, but you don't know how he settled.
Yeah.
Which implies that he was guilty of it, but there's no big
proof.
concrete thing saying, right, Casey Affleck was guilty, therefore he shouldn't win this award. If their court case carried on and they said he was guilty, then yeah, take it away from him. I would probably say people who are accused should probably have it taken away from them because I can't imagine.
But does that take away from the? This is the thing, because obviously, obviously it is completely wrong what these people are doing or alleged to have done. But in a way, for the sake of the sanctity of film, I suppose you kind of have to separate the performance from the person's personal life.
Yeah. I do understand that, but then the whole point of awards is that these people are being celebrated for their performance.
True.
And people look up to these people, and if you're giving Academy Awards or Golden Globes to people who have committed these crimes or these acts, then it's kind of like saying it's okay. And I think that's wrong.
Well, I think they've openly, like, as the awards have gone, I think they have openly said that they will not have any of this allowed in their world of acting. Like, it's a big no-no because they were going to give Kevin Spacey an award for, I think, his service to the industry, and then they just were like, well, no, we're not going to give it to him anymore. And he was nominated for several things, and they were like, well, he's not nominated anymore. So I think once you got it's difficult because how do you get evidence of this stuff, really?
Yeah.
Unless it happens.
It's one of the hardest things to prove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tricky subject.
It's a shame that all that, and even do you know what? I actually watched a little snippet of a DVD. Have you ever watched The Breakfast Club before? The interview. So I watched a little snippet of that, and it was
Not the film.
No.
Oh.
No, sorry, not the film. It's like an interview, radio show interview sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right.
But it's on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it. But so there was a comedian there called D.L. Hughley, and he was just talking about Bill Cosby. Him and Bill Cosby didn't get on basically because D.L. Hughley was on a thing called Def Jam, which was just like a little thing for like amateur comedians to come on and do little skits and stuff. And it got quite popular, but Bill Cosby just didn't like it because he thought it like degraded black people because they use like the N-word and all stuff like that. So like there was he had an interview with, this back in like mid-90s I think. There was an interview with D.L. Hughley and Bill Cosby, and basically Bill Cosby was being a dick to D.L. Hughley when he was trying to answer questions and stuff, and basically Bill Cosby was like, I don't like any of the stuff you do, I don't think it's right, blah 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 blah, and D.L. Hughley said back to him, well, I don't think it's right that basically that you drug up women and rape them. Basically.
Oh wow.
This is what happened in the interview. But then afterwards, when the people came up to it, the producers of the interview came up to him and was like, "Yeah, we're not airing that." And he was like,
cover up.
"Yeah." So he was like, "Oh, why not?" And he was basically like, "Yeah, if you air it, then your career's finished." And he was like, "Oh, I guess nothing I can do then." So people known about these things for they've been going on
100%.
for
Yeah.
time.
100%.
And it's good. It's good now. That obviously it's all coming out
But that's
now.
the thing, like,
but
the thing why actresses have stayed silent until, I think, was it Rose McGowan that maybe kicked it all off, or whoever incited this whole Me Too movement?
Yeah.
Because people like threatening their careers and everything, and it's not right. But now hopefully, like,
Could you imagine the amount of actresses and actors that have been like because of this that have just turned down roles because they just couldn't do it, or like
But-
it's crazy, isn't it? Really?
So I went to the cinema yesterday, and there was actually an advert for the Me Too campaign, and
Oh, really?
there was a lot of famous actors and actresses in it saying, this is not right, and giving statistics, and they said that and I assume this is for the UK, 1 in 3 females' first sexual encounter is rape,
raw.
which is fucking.
What, actresses or
No,
just
no,
women?
just women.
1 in
What?
3.
Yeah,
That's mental.
I mean, I don't know whether
What?
that's like intercourse or whether that's like
That can't.
any.
What?
Does that count like oral or
That
kind
can't
of?
be right.
I was like, fuck. I was like,
Nah, what?
I mean,
That's mad.
I
That's-
assume that they wouldn't put that sort of statistic out if it wasn't
That's
correct.
crazy.
I mean,
I'm
maybe
looking that up after.
maybe
What?
it's like non-consensual, as in like it could be.
When they say
I don't know.
did they use the word rape or sexual
I'm pretty
assault?
sure they. Oh god, I don't know now.
Because sexual assault could be like, as in, like, and I'm not saying this is right either, but someone like grabbing someone's bum in a club kind of thing.
No, but they said like first sexual encounter, so I mean that could
Oh,
be.
so that could also be
that
that.
could be like first up to full base. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
That's mental.
Crazy.
But yeah, and you just think
Oh my
like,
god, if I have a daughter, she's not going out.
well, that's the thing. Like you think like the amount of people you know or how many siblings that you know, and you just think that that's a horrendous statistic, and that's something which I guess
That horrifies me.
as males we
Can't
are
understand.
completely oblivious to that
Yeah.
because we never, well, a lot of men don't
Hashtag
ever
no trash.
don't ever feel like as vulnerable as women do when it comes to things like that, and I guess we don't understand the potential power that we may have over women by, maybe just
being
our
male.
gender, just our
Being male.
yeah.
Mm.
So
That's mad.
it's a horrifying statistic. If you
I
go,
just
and,
can't believe
it was not before the PG films I saw, but before Insidious. So if you watch a higher rated film, it might say that.
Wow.
But yes, horrible. But
Crazy.
we'll just kind of round up the main categories from the Golden Globes. The best performance by an actress in a supporting role was Alison Janney for I, Tonya. Mary J. Blige was nominated for Mudbound. Hong Chow for Downsizing. The other nominees were Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. I haven't seen any of those apart from Mudbound, and I wouldn't say Mary J. Blige's performance was
No, I mean, neither.
exceptional.
I didn't know she was an actress.
She was a musician. The best performance for an actor in a supporting role, Sam Rockwell won it for 3 Billboards.
Yeah, fair play. He
Willem-
played pretty well actually in that.
Willem Dafoe was nominated for The Florida Project.
I'd give it to Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Armie Hammer for Call Me By Your Name. Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water. And Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World. Best Director was won by Guillermo del Toro. And for The Shape of Water.
This is the one where
Natalie Portman said the all-male list,
Yeah.
which is a very good point.
Hella shade.
What, for every category?
No,
No,
just
for director, they're all men.
What female directors put a film through?
Well, Patty
Patty
Jenkins,
Jenkins.
for Wonder Woman.
Okay,
The
right.
director of Lady Bird is female.
Okay.
And considering that won 2 awards, like she wasn't even nominated.
Fair play. But
Yeah.
then the flip side, like,
I mean, it's proportional representation in a sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
As in, like, there are far more male directors than
Yeah,
female
and you don't want to just put a female director in that bracket just because
No.
she's female. You want them to have had an exceptional film to then be put in it.
True, but then maybe women don't get the chance to direct
Yeah,
the level of
I
films.
think there's so many sides to this,
There
and
are.
I think sometimes there's better ways of putting it out there. Like, because when you guys told me about the Natalie Portman thing, it kind of seemed like she was just, rather than having I don't know if it was a big blurb that she wrote about it or she.
She just kind of she said, and the all male nominees are.
What, when she was saying it out loud?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think that's.
But it's just highlighting, because I probably wouldn't have even noticed, to be honest. You know.
Yeah, fair play.
But the other nominees were Martin Madonna for Three
So would it
Billboards.
have made it better if they put the women directors in there and then the women didn't win it?
Well, because at least they're getting
Acknowledged.
recognition, yeah.
That is, but
Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Ridley Scott for All the Money in the World, and Steven Spielberg for The Post. I'm surprised Jordan Peele didn't get a nomination for Get Out.
Yeah.
what's that for? No, what was the
Best Director.
Best director.
Because,
Eh,
I mean, All the Money in the World, we'll discuss it a bit more later, not great. Dunkirk was good, but, you know, like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not sure.
Best Screenplay was won by Martin McDonagh for Three Billboards. Other nominations
Three
were...
Billboards to smash this, man.
I know. Well, other nominations were The Post, Molly's Game, which was a fantastic script, in my opinion, Shape of Water, and Lady Bird. Best Animated Picture was won by Coco. Other nominations were The Boss Baby, The Breadwinner, Ferdinand, and Loving Vincent.
Loving Vincent.
Yeah.
What about the artist?
Vincent van Gogh, yeah.
Wow.
And then I guess there's television categories as well. Best Television Series Drama was won by The Handmaid's Tale.
Apparently that's really good.
Other nominations were The Crown, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, and This Is Us.
Fair enough.
Wow.
Best Television Series Musical Comedy was won by The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Ooh, should have given
Other nominations were Blackish, Master of None, Smilf, and Will and Grace.
Oh, fuck off.
Will and Grace are back. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Um,
My mum used to love that show.
Yeah, man. I used to watch it with my nan and granddad.
Best TV Limited Series or Motion Picture Made for Television was won by Big Little Lies. Other nominations were Fargo, Feud, Betty and Joan, The Sinner, and Top of the Lake, China Girl.
Fargo.
As someone
What,
who's seen
Fargo
the Sin-
season 2.
There's a few series.
As someone
Yeah.
who's seen The Sinner, do you think that maybe should have won? Or
As Best Limited Series, I don't know.
Oh,
I
is it only
enjoyed
going to be one season then?
I think so. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Hold on.
I
Did
don't-
you
I mean,
say
I haven't
Fargo?
seen-
Fargo was in the limited series category.
Limited series, yeah.
So what's
'cause
considered
they're-
limited series then?
Well, they're anthologies, aren't they? So I guess it's like, do they
But it's
relate
still-
to one another? Or?
Fargo season 1 and season 2.
Well, this was probably just series 2, or whichever one.
But
was
then
most
that's not a limited series, is it?
Don't know. I don't know how.
Oh,
if it's an
okay, yeah.
anthology, is it an anthology?
It's just a different. I think it's a different person's point of view of the what happened in Fargo.
Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't know. I only watched season 1, so.
Oh, so it's pointless then.
No, but I'm just saying but what I'm saying is if there's a season 1 and season 2, that implies it's an ongoing series, regardless of its anthological.
Yeah, but I guess like American Horror Stories had 7 series. They're all based on different. They've all got different plots.
Yeah, but they've all got the same characters and they all intertwine in some way, shape,
Even
or form.
Thingy Majiggy, what's it called? OJ Simpson thing. That's all going to be part of like one series, but
However-
OJ Simpson is its own thing, and the next one they bring out will be its own thing.
Yeah, because that feud, Betty and Jones, by the same people.
Yeah, but
that
American
did it.
Horror I suppose, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Nicole Kidman won Best Actress for Big Little Lies. Other nominations were Jessica Biel for The Sinner, Jessica Lange for Feud, Susan Sarandon for Feud, and Reese Witherspoon for Big Little Lies. Best Actor was won by Ewan McGregor for Fargo. Robert De Niro was nominated for The Wizard of Lies,
No.
Jude Law for The Young Pope, Carl McLaughlin for Twin Peaks, and Jeffrey Rush for Genius. Best Performance by an Actress in a Drama was won by Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale. Other nominations were Katerina Balfe for Outlander, Claire Foy for The Crown, Maggie Gyllenhaal for The Deuce, and Catherine Langford for 13 Reasons Why. Ooh. I thought she was brilliant as
Yeah, she was sick.
what was her name? Hannah Baker.
Season 2's coming out soon.
Yeah. Best Performance by an Actor in a Drama was won by Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us. Other nominations were Jason Bateman for Ozark, Freddie Highmore for The Good Doctor, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, and Liv Schreiber for Ray Donovan. So I guess that's probably the key ones. We could talk for fucking ages about all that. But they're kind of seen as a precursor to the Oscars. So it'll be interesting in March what actually is nominated and wins for the Oscars.
I hope that by the time the Oscars come around, I've actually seen some of these films that they're talking about, because there's loads on that list that obviously haven't even come out in the UK yet.
Yeah. I feel like, and I don't know if it's because of the whole scandal that's hit Hollywood, or maybe it's just the quality of the films, but I don't feel like there's as much hype for the Oscars this year as there was as last year.
No, they're just not as good as... Well, they don't
like
look...
reading that list, I'm like, oh,
They
okay.
don't... Shit. They don't look as good as they did last year.
Yeah. But I guess we'll see. Hopefully more of the Oscar noms will come out soon. Posters coming out next week. Got 3 Billboards out now. Shape of Water comes out Valentine's Day. So I guess by the time March comes around, we would have seen.
Do you think... this just popped in my head. In comparison, there's less films with ethnic minorities of Oscar praise this year than there was last year. Because last year you had there was Moonlight, Fences, and Hidden Figures, and this year, is there any? This Roman J. Israel.
Is Detroit on it?
Get Out. Yeah.
No, Detroit doesn't seem to be nominated for any Golden Globes. That might be nominated for.
What's
Oscars,
that Mountain Between Us? I don't know.
I mean, that Idris Elba in, but
that's never going to get nominated for an Oscar. No.
I mean, I wonder if is Black Panther going to be good enough to?
Would it even be nominated? Because is it even in the spectrum of time
true.
to do it?
But let's throw back to last week on the pod and last year. So we kind of rushed through the best films of last year. We spent a lot of time talking about the worst. I know it's easier to talk about why films are bad than why they're good, but what are the standout ones last year? I mean, talking about kind of ethnic minority films, I remember saying Girls Trip. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
It was just a surprising
Girls Trip. I need to watch that.
It was just surprising comedy. It was really gross out kind of comedy that you don't expect kind of from females, females in film, because we normally see that sort of thing, like The Hangover or those sorts of films. But I mean, Tiffany Haddish, really good performance. Good performances all round, and I mean, there were kind of cheesy points within the film, but I thought the laughs were consistent. When they get the orange and but not on orange, she's showing them how to suck a good dick, and he's just laughing. I remember my cheeks are hurting from laughing.
It was it was literally just not things that I just didn't expect to see, and I was fucking that bit that you're talking about, the bit with when she just starts pissing everywhere. The bit where the geezer runs out with the fucking grapefruit on his knob. Yeah. And oh my god, you just don't expect it. It was so funny. Probably might be the funniest film I've seen this year.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched that many.
I don't know if there were that many good comedies last year.
Jumanji was pretty decent.
Yeah, Jumanji was good.
I gave me a few laughs. But yeah, I reckon, do you know what, yeah, I reckon by far, actually, that's probably the funniest film I watched this year. That's come out anyway. But
I did realise remembering back from what I was saying my best 5 films were, I think all of them were in the last 6 months of the year, because they were just the freshest. Obviously I really enjoyed Logan and other films.
I remember actually when we first, I want to call you out here for tweaking, when we first watched Logan back in January, you said you didn't think it was that great, and you said that what's her face X23 annoyed you. That might have been said off pod, I'm not sure, but I remember you saying you didn't think it was that great.
Yeah.
Maybe changed your mind.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting caught up in all the hype of it.
Did you find it frustrating that she wasn't speaking maybe English, or was it anything not to do with that?
So dumb.
Yeah. And was all the other kids meant to be Mexican as well, and they were all speaking perfectly good English?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I remember thinking that, but I don't think they were all.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed it. I think maybe I thought it was a bit overhyped. But I mean, compared to the other kind of Wolverine solo films, it's the best one, and at the end, it's a touching finale. But I obviously didn't put it in my top 5 for a reason.
I didn't put Wonder Woman in there, but I watched it fairly recently because I got it on DVD. That's pretty good. It's probably not as good as I first mentioned it to be, and then afterwards changed my mind. Maybe called me out on it. Classic Obes.
Stop
Calling
tweaking,
people out.
mate. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I've got to go through all these podcasts and find a few call you out.
Yeah,
some
you're probably
shit,
finding
innit?
loads. To be honest. You're finding loads.
But yeah, it's a good film. It's probably not as good as I first remember watching it being, but
Again,
Yeah.
that's one which was just caught up in hype. Like I didn't
You didn't think it was
enjoy
great,
it.
did
Didn't
you?
think it was that great.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was decent.
I just thought there was parts of it where it was just like, really? Okay.
I think
you could have kept it at like a really like steady pace film, like continuous the same way. It didn't need that big, massive god.
No.
I think the third act,
Yeah,
third act let it down.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I think.
I do want to rewatch Logan because
You can borrow it if you want, mate.
yeah, I've still got your Batman vs Superman I haven't watched.
Oh yeah.
Can't bring myself to watch it, to be fair. Yeah, so what other films did we enjoy? I really loved Thor Ragnarok. Like, I think part of the reason why I liked it so much was because I just, the first two Thor films, I just hate them. Like, they're awful films.
I think they're quite. I think the first one. There's nothing wrong with the first one in my eyes, besides the fact that maybe the villain wasn't too great. But besides that, I think it was a fairly decent film. Admittedly, the second one,
The second one's
God knows what I said
dire.
in the thing, but I think I watched the second one or part of the second one recently. I did watch it and I thought maybe it's not as good as I remember it. And I tell you what, for geographical sense, like Jesus Christ, they could have got the tube line right, couldn't they?
Oh my
all the
God.
things they could have got wrong. The tube line.
Yeah,
they
That's
got
a really easy thing to get
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
And it's,
all you have to do is look at a map.
Americans
a tube
don't
map.
get it, though. It's kind of... I like,
Go and ask anyone in England how do you get somewhere, and they will tell you.
yeah, outside of London,
Or
I think people...
do you know what you do? You get a tube map on your phone,
Just look
type
at
in the destination, and it will tell you how to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit silly.
But I just think, like, compared to the first two Thor films, and the first Thor film is not awful, but I didn't really enjoy it. But this one was hilarious. Like, I think
it was miles above the rest, wasn't it?
the way that they kind of changed Thor's, like, they kind of suited Chris Hemsworth as an actor more, like his natural comedic ability, like Loki, the playfulness with Loki and Hulk, the way they developed Hulk as like a more sentient, like able to communicate.
Yeah.
Introducing characters like Valkyrie, Korg.
The only thing I didn't like is his eye coming out.
I didn't mind it.
It's just so unfucking necessary.
Why? I think it's supposed to be.
Why so?
I think it's supposed to be an homage to his dad.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Quite a few people probably.
Nah, bollocks. Don't believe it. Get out of here.
I mean, they could have given hella more to do, but you know.
It was more of a story, redemption, or finding yourself story about Thor. But yeah, I do see your
It's kind
point.
of a
Like
soft
they kind
reboot,
of they
isn't it?
they kind of like brushed over the fact that Hela was this all powerful thing, and that like I love the film. Don't get me wrong. And I think I said this before. It was pretty ridiculous how the dad gave them little to no information as to how to stop Hela.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't know how.
But he suppressed her for all these years, so he could at least told him how to do that. Although, again, it wouldn't have made for a very good story if they could suppress Hela, so
Yeah.
it's a toss-up. And do you know what I found out, actually? That, you know how easy it was for Doctor Strange to, like, mess with Loki and, like, send him... Apparently Loki is by far stronger than, or by far more capable of using that kind of magic, like, illusions and stuff, than Doctor Strange. And in the comics, Doctor Strange has actually praised Loki for how strong and good he is at it. So it, like, as a comic book, like, realism, I feel they got that a bit wrong. As funny as it was,
Yeah, that bit was just for comedic effect.
I just didn't. It wasn't necessary. I think they're trying to make Doctor Strange. The thing is, they try and make him serious but funny. They try and make him funny with his
They
magic.
try and make him like Tony Stark.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
working. You've got to make a different character for these people.
Cumberbatch isn't as charismatic as
You kind of feel
Downey
like it's a
Jr.
bit stuck up.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I agree. That's definitely where it comes across. Anyway.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like, and he's kind of. I don't know if it's. I feel, although he's probably got quite a long face that you kind of picture Doctor Strange have, like as an actor to visually have that. I feel you kind of get the persona of Sherlock from it, and I don't like that. And I feel they should just chose a less known character, maybe not so one that was in the media so heavily at the time when they recruited him. I feel they do this a lot. I feel they just try and pump loads of actors in, and I know it's like you say sometimes that because an actor's in a film, you're going to be like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to say it's sick anyway, kind of thing. And same, I'm sure we do it as I do it. I know if I see a film with, who's my favourite actor? I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure I see films and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be sick because that person's in it. And I openly go and see it because of that person. I don't think it's necessary for these films, and I feel like I still do it because, I mean, like, loads of people still would have seen Iron Man had it not been for Robert Downey Jr.
That kind of resurrected his career in a sense, didn't it?
But I'm sure people were still seeing it. But like Doctor Strange, people are seeing it because it's a Marvel film, not because it's Doctor Strange. Some people probably are. Don't get me wrong. There's comic nerds out there that probably are. But the fact of the matter is, it's a Marvel film, and people are seeing it because it's a Marvel film. They did not need such a high-profile character playing the role. I don't believe they needed it, but maybe I'm wrong.
With your point towards Robert Downey Jr., obviously people might not have seen the film because he was in it, but
he definitely made the character.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
So him being in it might have thought, oh, okay, now I'm into these films.
Yeah, he 100% started the Marvel, because Hulk was the first film, that was shocking.
So they might have thought that Benedict Cumberbatch would do the same thing for his.
Yeah, true.
His film. Maybe. I don't know.
Just out of curiosity, when's Black Panther out?
February 12th, I think.
Better start watching my 3 films a week.
You said you were going to do that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and
Why?
do it. Because I want to just have it all fresh in my mind.
Fair enough.
We only did the Marvel special.
It's before
Civil War.
It's before the Avengers, isn't it?
Just watch
It's not
Civil
before
War.
Black Panther,
It'll be
it's before
fun.
the Avengers. But then technically I'd want to watch them all before Black Panther. So then the next film I see after that is Avengers.
Yeah. What were your other favourite films then?
So personally, I would have said, just gonna throw 2 out there just for discussion. Baby Driver and Fences. Fences. Honestly, I didn't expect myself to like it as much as I did. It wasn't. It's just. It's not basic, but it's like there wasn't a look. It was in a house. It was pretty much
It's like a play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I actually do quite like plays. I do actually like them, so maybe that's why I like it. But I just thought all the like the thing that I loved is the whole fact about him building the fence around the house, and it was called Fences. I thought that's wicked, and I just
metaphor.
Thought, yeah, and I've forgotten her name, but she was fantastic.
Davis.
Yeah, she was fantastic in it, and I'm not good with any of these names, but like I felt all the actors and actresses in it were amazing. I thought they portrayed so many. They put across so many different feels about different, like, I don't know how to put it, like different things that happened in it was so like strong topics, and they hit the nail on the head like every single time, and it was such a good riveting film. Like, riveting the right word? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was quality. I know we talked about it in the Oscars special, but it was sick, and it stuck with me. So that's what makes me
especially
think.
considering it came out in like January or February.
So that's what makes me think. Yeah, that's a film I really liked, and I think that should deserve a top 5 spot. So
Cool.
that's why it's in there for me.
Was it in your top 5?
It was number 2. There were just like certain, like Chris said, there were certain things about the film that I just thought were quite like, I don't know, like that I understood from a parenting point of view, because I feel like certain aspects of Troy.
Yeah.
Troy's character was kind of similar to the way my dad tries to parent.
And is that a cultural?
I
kind
think
of
I think so.
Thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
So like something, for example, like what was the son's name? I can't remember what the son's name was, but he wanted to go to college and play football or baseball. Baseball, and his dad, who was like a failed baseball star, was basically like, nah, you need to get yourself a job. You need to go to college, study. Don't forget about baseball. It's a pipe dream. Da, da, da. And that's something similar that I could understand, because like I think traditionally in African households, or maybe just black households, I can only speak on African households, the focus is more on like read your books, face your books, forget about sports because it's too risky. If you
It's a big dream, and if you fail, you're gonna fall really hard.
Whereas if you face your books, go to university, get your degree, you've always got that your education to fall back on.
Yeah.
I feel like that's quite I feel like black parents are more encouraging towards like studies and like what's the word, like maybe professions rather than academia rather than like creative things. So if I was like, when I was 16, I said to my dad, "Oh yeah, Dad, I don't want to go uni. I want to learn how to play the guitar and start a band." Like, he would have like that. The conversation would have ended there. He would just be like, "Nah, you're going uni."
Is that maybe like? Is it like your first generation? Right, your parents were from Nigeria.
Yeah.
So is that maybe because like that the access to education that you have here and in America is much better than they had, and so they want you to kind of make as much use of it as
I think flourish from it, don't they?
Exactly.
They want you to...
There's a thing of like
bettering yourself than they bettering them.
Exactly. You are like, there's a thing of you want your children to succeed, and you want them to do better than how you're doing or how you've done. But at the same time, you don't want them to make the mistakes that you've done. But then you have to realise at the same time, like, making mistakes is part of life.
Yeah,
you have to let your children make their own mistakes, so then they can learn from their mistakes. But it's the same with Troy. He was kind of like trying to protect his son from potential failure, rather than letting his son fail and then build himself back up again, which is kind of how you like try and get to survive through life, sort of thing. But yeah, it's just little undertones like that, which I think were just so like interesting in the film, and little things that I related to. Even like Troy being this character who kind of like seemed who just seemed like larger than life, and like very like confident, and like, yeah, I'm the man of this house, I'm gonna do da. And then you get his oldest son coming in and like obviously he was asking for money, and Troy was giving like a whole long lecture, and he was like obviously you could lecture me, but like you weren't there when I was growing up, so you don't have any choice in being the sort you don't have any say in the sort of man that I want to be. So it kind of said like this guy who's like giving all these instructions and showing all this power, who's actually quite flawed.
Oh, he's very flawed because he has a
an affair.
Illegitimate child. Exactly. This guy.
And Viola Davis's character looks after the child, and
it was a very human story. Which
it there was so many aspects of it, and it hit home about so many different topical subjects, like within life, really, like affairs, commitment, careers, racism, like inequality of like it was wicked. Like it was an amazing depiction of all these different topics, and I think like I'm surprised. I don't know how many awards they won, but I'm
Viola
sure
Davis got best actor.
Well, if she didn't, that's fixed. I'm sorry. That scene where she just goes absolutely mad was like.
Her snot could have won an Oscar.
Honestly.
Yeah. But
no, it's just a great film, and also again, I always say it, but a special shout out to the guy who played Gabe, because he was absolutely fantastic, and he should have got won an Oscar. He should have won something. I don't think he won anything. Like, he was so good. Same guy played Bubba in Forrest Gump.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think you said this before, actually.
And other films.
I said Baby Driver as well.
Baby Driver, yes.
Baby Driver,
that was probably my favourite film of the year. I just love I love Edgar Wright films, and I like Taika Waititi films, which is why Thor Ragnarok appealed to me so much.
Yeah.
But like, just the way that Edgar Wright kind of choreographs all the steps, all the beats, the music, kind of the choice of music that he has is like not stuff that I necessarily have listened to before, but it just works really well. Like the old school vibe of it, all the kind of ancillary characters they had in it, like John Bernthal, Kevin Spacey, and John Hamm and Jamie Foxx. Like, yeah.
Who's the lady?
I don't know her name. But she was in it. Yeah.
She was in it. Well, yeah.
No, she was good. Like the John Hamm's and her relationship was good.
So was the was it deaf guy who was looking after?
He was looking after.
Yeah.
Baby was looking after.
Again, there was elements of like humanity to that, which I really liked.
She was in The Darkest Hour, wasn't she? The girl who played his girlfriend. No.
Lily James.
Yeah. She's a typist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And also, do you know what I realised today? And you probably already realised this, but the woman who plays one of the police women in this The End of the Fucking World is the lady who plays
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
Yara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw her and I was thinking like, I was actually looking at it, I was thinking, who the hell are you? And I had to go, because I couldn't think, I had to Google it, and then I was like, oh my god, thank god, it's the. And literally, it was driving me crazy. Sorry.
And then like there was some like really laugh out loud moments. Like, don't they have they put the Michael Myers masks on, but they put Austin Powers on instead of the Halloween mask because they're both called Michael Myers, and just things like that. It was hilarious. But why was it on your list? I mean, you said you had it on your best quality and most entertaining.
Yeah.
So what was it about it that crossed those, transcended those vibes?
I think the same thing as you. I felt it was really like, I just thought like, I don't know. I said last week that I thought it was quite original, but again, I don't think it is that original. I don't know. I just think the approach was kind of different.
Yeah.
Kind of like how he was like, we never use the same team for a job, and obviously Baby had the thing with his ears like not working or things like that, and like the way him and Deborah like kind of like got together, it felt very like, that felt quite retro. That sort of, like a love at first sight, that sort of thing, like meeting in a diner and all that stuff. Very like 80s, 90s sort of thing. And like the soundtrack was great. I thought Ansel Elgort did even though he actually didn't have loads to do, I don't think, in terms of like, range. I thought everything that he did, he did really well.
Yeah.
And obviously you get the bit where he just decides to go kill Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
and then he's on the run. Like that whole sequence from there when he's on the run till when he gets captured by the police was just brilliant. Like it was so enthralling. Like, and obviously what's his face? John Hamm is after him because his girlfriend died. Like that whole bit was just so exhilarating.
Yeah. John Hamm is actually like well good at acting. Like I saw the other day, I watched the Christmas special of Black Mirror again, and he was actually sick in that as well. Like, he's actually such a wicked actor. But
it's one of those films that just like kept me engaged throughout. Like I feel like there's very few films where when I sense we're getting to the end, I'm like, oh man, like it's about to end sort of thing. That was one of those films. I was like, oh shit, we're almost at the end. The ending could have been a bit better, I think. That's the only downside. Because that ended needed an explanation to it. Like we needed to know, was that really it? But then I suppose I think they did that to leave up to interpretation, which I suppose is a good thing as well. But me being the mind of Am, I kind of like conclusive endings. Yeah. but yeah, it was just great. I think from start to finish, it was just such a good film. Yeah. And again, it was helped by the fact that it was a screen on scene. So obviously, when you watch those, you're not expecting like a you're not expecting like a blockbuster, but it kind of was a blockbuster.
That's the kind of same with so like I think for me like it wouldn't be in my top 5, but I think an honourable mention for a good film of that year would be Mindhorn. Purely because I didn't expect it to be a good film. Yeah. It was one of my first screen unseens.
That was my first one.
It actually probably was mine.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, and it was like a hilarious British comedy, and it, like regardless if you found it dumb or you found the humour actually really good, it was just like it got everyone laughing, and it was like a film where we were like, right, didn't ever expect that to be good, but you know what, it was pretty good. But yeah, I agree with everything that Obi said about Baby Driver and you. So,
any other films that you want to mention on
Moonlight?
Moonlight.
I really enjoyed Moonlight. Moonlight is another film where the ending kind of like made it go down in its estimation for me, because I like to see like happy endings, and obviously the ending of that film is just him revealing to what's the boy's name? I can't remember the boy's name, but he revealed to Kevin. I'm pretty sure the other guy's name's Kevin. That he's gay and he's never had sex with anyone else. And then they just like hug or they embrace, and the film just ends. I'm like, that's just so, it was so inconclusive. That's the only thing I had against that film. But in terms of everything building up to that, I just thought it was just really well acted. All 3 actors who played, it's really annoying, I don't know the kid's name. Whoever the kid's name is, were so good, and like they were all like, you could tell obviously like the characters were developing as the different periods of his time went on, but they still had kind of like loads of the same traits. Yeah. So I think those 3 actors did really well playing that same young man. And like the actors were so good in it, but the only thing also that I didn't like was that what's his face got nominated for a thingy off the back of it. Mahershala Ali got nominated for an Oscar off the back of that being in the film for 15 minutes.
I know.
He was decent in it. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't amazing. So and Chiron, no, good name Chiron. Sorry. So yeah, and like it was just interesting seeing like, because you don't get many. Obviously, you do get some LGBT films, but they don't get much spotlight, especially not ethnic minority LGBT films. So it was so interesting, like what this kid had to go through, and obviously it's based on the life of the director as well. So it kind of parts of this actually happened. So
Yeah.
you know, it's just like quite eye opening, because I'm not gonna lie, before Moonlight, I don't think I'd ever watched like a film like about that sort of, you know, coming out or not coming out as it would be, that sort of, you know, thing. Not really.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But even like, and obviously like watching films like that made me watch a film like The Past, which is also about gay footballer coming out and stuff like that. So, you know, it kind of opened my eyes to like kind of sort of like what these people go through whilst they're trying to deal with who they are and trying to express that to other people with at the same time wanting to feel normal, but then obviously they don't feel normal, because then that might cause issues like acting out, and you know, he hits the guy with the chair and gets expelled and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good film, man. It was like such a solid drama, and it was like even like there's one bit I felt so sad for him. I can't remember what it was. No, it's gone. But the film was great, and Naomi Harris did a really good job of playing crackhead.
Yeah, the mother in it.
Yeah.
Any of the 3 films that we've announced, have any of those been in your top 3 or 5? Fences, Baby Driver, or Moonlight?
Baby Driver was, yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed Moonlight, and my other ones I think were Wolf of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that's on mine.
Which we discussed a bit last week.
Well, let's talk about that. Might as well talk about that. I mean,
just as like the concluding part to a trilogy was strong. It like paid respect to the previous 2 films, continued the quality of the previous 2 films.
Paid respect to Caesar.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it shifted focus, Caesar was now the kind of proper main focus of this film. Like, there were many human characters that you had the chance to kind of get to know. Like, Woody Harrelson's character was kind of, surplus. Not superfluous, but like, he was a very minor character. The main focus was definitely Caesar. You kind of see his point of view. And the fact that you kind of empathise with this computer-generated ape.
Yeah.
You're like...
It's pretty good.
You know, it takes a lot, because crafted the storytelling. And the visual effects are incredible.
It does make you think, like they have such good quality in these Planet of the Apes. I think we probably did speak about it last week. One of you probably said it. How is Avatar not out?
I know.
That's a fair point.
But
I don't even want to see Avatar films overrated.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Planet of the Apes just like, it's weird because obviously like you're watching like these apes on screen in a world that's, you know, it's still filled with people. This is like across all 3 films. In a world that's still filled with people, but you feel more for the apes than you do for the humans majority of the time. And I think that is in part down to the CGI as well, because the CGI was rubbish. You could I don't think the empathy would be as strong if you didn't believe that what you're seeing on the screen is actually happening. Like, these apes are actually talking.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So shout out to the VX team.
Yeah, I mean, you could just think like, wow, they trained these gorillas to do this acting. Like, you know, it was that realistic and incredible.
Can't really talk much about it, though, can you? That's probably these kind of films, like the animation kind of ones. It's a bit limited on what we can really.
Well,
you felt an almost human empathy towards Caesar. Well, you did,
definitely,
because of his family orientation, and Woody Harrelson. You couldn't feel empathy for him because you didn't really know where his direction was coming from. Really, like, he was just an angry man who didn't want the apes to take over, which is what I think a lot of humans, if something like that happened, would probably feel. However, when you see his agenda isn't quite what the human race has planned, it's kind of takes away from it. But it does. I tell you what, that film did motivate me to want to go and watch the old films again, because
the old films,
all of them, even the Mark Wahlberg one. Like, I want to watch them all because I want to see, like, if they could. Like you said it, you spoke to me about it, but like, you know, this can go in another direction if they really wanted it to. Whether they do that.
Well, do you remember at the end of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, there's that pod that gets sent off to Mars because they know the population's declining. Or I don't know if it was Mars, but they it wasn't really post credits, but at the end they say, you know, simian flu has wiped out X amount of the population, but we've sent a shuttle away to. Because that links into
the very first film. Yeah.
Very first film. Yeah, which I think it's a sick twist, and I kind of wish I didn't know that twist.
Because I knew it was before as well, and I was like, damn, that was so good. But yeah.
Any other films before we go on to TV?
Yes, Split. I
Yeah.
think that does make my top 5, to be honest. I thought James McAvoy quality. I mean, played 17 different roles in one, didn't he? Really, and I think he has danced with this devil before. He played like Filth.
Yeah, I
He's
started watching that.
Not a great film, I'm not gonna lie, but he does dress up as a woman in that film, and yeah, he has a whole nother life in that film. And I thought the actress in it, don't know her name.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
She was really good in it. Like it was just good. It's again. I think for me, I've taken to liking the films which are more enclosed into a specific area rather than venturing to different places, because I think it like hones in a bit more about the struggle of trying to like escape this kind of place, because that's almost what they're doing. In Fences, it's like kind of the opposite actually. The Fences, it's kind of like, let's enclose us in, let's make ourselves safe, while this film is let's get out so we're safe kind of thing. So, and I like the twist at the end that it's part of the trilogy of Unbreakable, and then the next film's meant to come out this year or next.
This, I think. Glass.
Which is going to be also about Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know if I would liked it if it's just a self-contained film, because like it worked really well, and then at that bit, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, Bruce Willis is in it, fair enough. But yeah,
I think that's got to finish it there. They don't need to make a universe of films. I think that will do.
No.
But yeah, I think that definitely gets a shout out. And I think for me, like, because I had 6 written here, so I think actually Split might have been an honourable mention. But other 2 in there would probably be Logan and John Wick 2.
Yeah, John Wick 2 was really good.
Just
solid, like, stylish action film. And like when him and Common are like...
That was jokes.
That was so funny. Just like pewing at each other. Like,
and when he walks away, when he knows he's in real big poo, and he's like walking, and all of a sudden he's like, right, pick up the dog, let's go, kind of thing.
That was one of the few. That's one of the few like films where they brought out a sequel and it's arguably as strong as the first one.
Yeah.
Because they kept the similarities of like the whole action sequence, but they mixed it up, because like almost like John Wick in the first film wanted to keep to the code of the assassins, and this one he does want to keep to code, but he knows he has to divert away. And I need to watch back to the episode, because I'm sure I had a shout out that this guy is definitely going to be John Wick's dad or something.
Ian McShane's character.
I reckon Ian McShane's his dad or something.
Maybe. Any others you want to mention, though?
No, I pretty much covered it all.
What about Logan, mate? Come on.
I talked about Logan last week.
Okay, let's talk about...
I can never talk enough about Logan, mate.
2017 in terms of TV.
I think this
Can I quickly...
Yeah.
I'm just going to get this out of the way. My most disappointing... Can I give my most disappointing?
Yeah, go for it.
Game of Thrones. 100% Game of Thrones.
That's controversial. What was it about it that was so disappointing?
Rushed. Characters were just not doing what they would normally do in situations. So... Arya was just being a dickhead for like the whole series. Fucking what's her face? God, shit. I'm fucking blanking now.
Sansa?
No, not Sansa.
Daenerys?
No, not Daenerys. Cersei. Just like this whole threat. Like she sees the fucking what's it called coming out to her, and then in the last episode when the zombie thing is about to attack her. And she sees the threat, and she visibly like scared, and then she says to Tyrion, "Yeah, we're going to support you with the army against the army of the dead." And she's like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." So like they're just going to come and slaughter everybody. Yeah, like cool, that's fine, I guess.
Okay.
And the whole thing was just, like they were going back and forth to King's Landing, then to fucking Winterfell
in like 10 seconds.
In like literally 2 minutes of Game of Thrones time, and it just felt so like everything was just happening so quickly, and I think they focused so much more on action stuff rather than
building the story up a bit more. Yeah.
I think some of the best parts of Game of Thrones is the conversations that people have, and they focused a lot less on that and a lot more on just like action, and they're like, oh yeah, let's bring in dragon, like have the dragons do and I just don't give a monkeys about the dragons. I'm not gonna lie. And like even the stuff with Bran, like finding out all stuff about everything basically, all while interesting, is also really rushed and really inconsistent. I think the way his powers in inverted commas work is very inconsistent, and they just go everything so quickly. Like, everything they were talking about with in the last episode with Jon Snow's origin, that literally they explained they tried to explain the whole thing in 30 seconds, and I was like, this could give us a bit of time to breathe.
Yeah, I think we mentioned earlier last year that, since they've stopped following the books, everything's kind of getting a bit sloppier.
But the thing is, since they've gone to the books, but don't get me wrong, the season of Game of Thrones wasn't bad. It was just disappointing because of what I've seen before. I expected more.
Yeah.
And this season of Game of Thrones especially is what I would cast as you can just tell that this isn't from the book. This is written by people who do TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was less. I feel like this series there was less threat for the characters you love, because there are points when Jaime's on this horse about to try and stab the dragon through its mouth, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna they might kill Jaime, and then I was thinking, they're not gonna kill Jaime.
Yeah.
Whereas in previous series,
you
literally could have killed anyone at
easy.
any time. And there was that level of threat, and now, like you said, because they're TV writers, it's like, oh well,
someone's got these people have to survive.
Yeah.
It's like when you're watching 24 and you know Jack Bauer's gonna live.
Exactly. And you're like, oh,
but that's more obvious because it's all about Jack Bauer, so it kind of has to happen.
Yeah, but that Game of Thrones has now become about
certain people,
certain characters.
Yeah.
Like
Jon Snow, Daenerys, Tyrion, Jaime,
Cersei,
and Arya and Sansa.
And I genuinely thought that Tyrion would betray Daenerys and go back to Jaime sort of thing.
But it's kind of gone the opposite. Jaime's kind of
betraying
deferred,
Cersei.
and he's going to go to defected even. Well, I'll tell you what, my most disappointing has got Walking Dead.
Okay.
I mean, we said it time and time again. I do agree with you 100%. It's definitely on my disappointed list of this year. But time and time again, I think we've spoken about how Walking Dead is saturated already. I think it is a saturated thing. It's so cyclical and saturated. And I watched only 2 episodes of Walking Dead this season. That's how little interest I had in it. It did not engage me at all. And I've heard all the rumours about... Are you up to date?
No, I don't think I'm going to bother. But I know that
I've heard rumours that Cole, who was meant to be the front runner for the further series, has been killed off.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a shock, really, because it again deviates from the comics. It deviates. I think they've pretty much squished the theory of it's from Carl's point of view now, which was quite an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Apparently, his dad was not happy in real life.
Yeah, I heard that.
And it's just stories. They should have ended this Negan fight a long time ago. I think first few episodes that should have been done and dusted. And I know people don't like fast pacedness of stuff, but to drag it out for a season and a half, 2 seasons, this war with Negan is just a bit.
Yeah.
Really.
I think it's alright if something being slow paced as long as you can kind of see where it's going. Whereas I haven't watched Walking Dead, but I feel like there's not really any end in sight.
There's no end. So the end game in this is that Negan has one way of treating people, which is most people wouldn't see as right, and then Rick has one way of treating people, and you'd probably see it as more right, but it's not morally right in a society where zombies are taking over, and basically they're fighting for the territory, and they both have different views on it, and Negan has a lot more people by the looks of it. And you thought Rick was on the winning path, and then it kind of sounds like he's not winning, and then, inevitably he's going to win. So, I don't know. Unless you kill off Rick or a major character, not Carl, because in my eyes he's not a major character.
Glenn was a major character.
Yeah, but Glenn died in the comics. So, yeah.
I think for me, and obviously I don't know the comics, but what was interesting about the first few series, at least, was the way that they kind of linked it to finding a cure. They went to the CDC to see the guy because he was like, oh yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was about, but something to do with a cure or finding out how this whole incident started. And then when Eugene says that they go to Washington because he knows there's a secret government there or something. Like, that is the interesting part to me, because it's like, okay, how are you going to overcome this? Where did it start from? But it's literally, like you said, so cyclical. It's like they'll get to a place, they'll settle there, then someone will come and try and take it away from them, and then they'll move on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there doesn't actually seem to be any development at all in the world of, like, The Walking Dead. It's just kind of the same, and it's really plateaued, and it's just, yeah.
You see different points of view, like the way people would probably decide to live, but it's not necessary. And I think the problem I've got now is that, do I want the ending to be that they found a cure? Probably not. Probably the best ending would be, I don't know what I'd want the best ending to be. Do I want it to be a dream? Probably not. Do I want them to find a cure? Probably not. Do I want them to be defeated by the zombies? Probably not. Do I want the zombies to just disappear or be eradicated? Probably the most likely one, but that's the one I probably want the most. Is that likely? Probably not.
It's the thing, like, so hard to end shows. Like, you can start them and continue them, and ending them, you're like, oh shit.
I'm of the opinion though, regardless of the ratings of this season, I think that they're on season 7 now.
8.
What, they're gonna start 8, or they were on 8?
They're on 8, I think.
So that makes me believe that they're gonna push it until season 10, and they should just stop it at season 10. But there you go. And I was also slightly disappointed with some of the Marvel series that came out this year.
Defenders wasn't great.
Yeah, parts of Iron Fist weren't great. Defenders wasn't really good. Well, no, it wasn't great. It was good. It wasn't great. I thought it'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
And Punisher, I thought would be a lot better.
I actually quite liked Punisher.
It's not that I didn't like it. I think it was too long.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what's disappointing for me. I feel like you have such a structure, and you have such a power on this industry. Like, Marvel has such a hold on this industry, and they're always overdoing it. Like, there doesn't need to be. If you think 6 episodes is enough, 6 episodes is enough. Like,
especially on Netflix.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
That's one thing that I would think they would have creative control over. Because I remember watching an interview with I think his name was Mark Guggenheim, I think is his name, who's like one of the showrunners for like the CW shows. And one of the questions I asked him was, do you like having 22, 23 episodes, or would you prefer to have a shorter? And he was like, I'd definitely prefer having a shorter, because it's much easier to write a story for 13 episodes than it is for 23, because you end up having episodes that aren't as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the only reason, filler episodes in cartoons are different, because I think the filler episodes gives time for the writers and the creators to, make more story and draw it. While in series like this, you don't need that. You've pretty much got a pre-written script for you within comic books.
Yeah.
And although the Marvel Cinematic Universe has deviated in some parts majorly, in some parts minor, you can still use the comics. It's like your backbone.
Yeah.
There are some episodes of TV where I'm thinking, who greenlit this?
Yeah.
Who allowed this to be aired?
I think with all the money in this industry, they could have people. I'm not even joking. They could have 10 very different people with very different opinions on a series sit down and watch series as a job, and tell you if it's good or not. I don't see why they don't do it. It wouldn't cost them a lot of money to do
Critics.
Yeah, critics have a very linear way of making decisions on films. Like, I wouldn't personally say The Florida Project was a film where I would say it deserves 100% on Rotten Tomato or whatever it got. I think if you put us 3 in a room and you put 3 people who liked, okay, I'm just gonna throw it out there actually. You put Obi in a room with one person who liked Pitch Perfect, and someone else who doesn't like musicals at all, and then someone else who's not really that bothered about musicals, and you all watched a film similar to Pitch Perfect, you all have different opinions on it. And I think sometimes you need that diverse opinion to, then they can hone it in on different people. And I think because Marvel is such a big, wide world, and a lot of people from different people who like different kind of films like it for different reasons. And it's not really going to happen, is it, what I just said? But I think that kind of thing needs to happen. It's like people need to watch these films and series before they come out. It really wouldn't take that long. especially if you paid someone.
But then if they didn't like it, then they've wasted this money on a series that they now don't.
I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
But there's probably an element of these people who make these things thinking like, I'm not gonna make a superhero or musical or whatever for someone who doesn't like superhero stuff or somebody who doesn't like music.
True.
Like if you get those people in who don't like them, then that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
I think you make these things for people who are interested in the genre or.
Okay, then, but
in
why
the
don't you
genre, really.
bring in those people then? Why don't you bring in 10 people who really like the superhero film?
Do we know that they don't?
True. Yeah.
There's
But-
these episodes that we complain about. There's probably loads of people who like
Like
them.
it,
But there's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
loads of people who like episode 8 of Stranger Things, whatever episode that was.
Oh, the crap one.
Yeah.
Episode 7, I think
7.
it was. Yeah, that's the thing. Stranger Things had 9 episodes. One of them's arguably a filler. I'm just like, what's the point?
Do you know what? I was watching a video the other day. You know the mum in it? She nearly like ruined her
Winona
career,
Ryder.
didn't she? Because she was like, she stole loads of
Yes,
stuff at one
yeah.
point, and then this reboosted her career almost.
She was a child star as well.
Yeah.
Did you watch
Yes,
Edward Scissorhands?
No, but I saw her in Beetlejuice recently.
That's the one that they referenced Beetlejuice
Yeah.
in it. But
I think you like Edward Scissorhands. Have you seen it?
No, I
I
haven't.
think you'd like it.
Okay. I saw Beetlejuice. That's a Tim Burton film. That was zany, weird. It's like it's just tangent. Like it's about this suburban couple who move into this like idyllic house, and then they die, and then they kind of pop back up in their house with this book that says like, oh, you know, welcome to the land of the dead or something, and then new people move into the house, and because they're so like middle class that they can't scare them away, so they employ Beetlejuice, who's this like proper schizo guy, like, and he tries to scare them away, but like because it was made in the late 80s, like all the effects, like, I mean by our standards are terrible, but they're quite funny, like they just look so pantomime. It's an enjoyable film, but yeah, so I had to eat a bit of humble pie about Iron Fist because the first episode was atrocious. Atrocious. And I was like, it's going to be the worst TV show ever. And then I ended up watching it and it wasn't too bad.
I think this was okay, but it definitely could have been much better.
the
Yeah,
acting
but like
for
you
the
said-
main character could have been,
Oh, yeah,
I think,
Danny Rand,
That
substantially
was what let the
better.
whole series down.
I think the fight scenes could have been
Bad.
substantially, considering the crux of that was that he was the immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah.
That they could probably stop saying as much as well. We know, like, you could have literally you could have made it the Iron Fist, the immortal. No, you could put the series as the little immortal Iron Fist, and I would have known that he was. And he's not immortal
I was
either.
gonna say, is he
Like,
immortal?
is he just immortally always the
I
Iron
think maybe
Fist?
the Iron Fist is immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be
Yeah.
an Iron Fist.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I think that they could have talked a bit more about how he used the Iron Fist to cure someone, and they didn't really explain too much about how his mental state affects the Iron Fist. It kind of just happened, and it was just like, oh, okay.
I would have liked
And-
to have seen his training to become the Iron Fist, like, you know, the trials he needed to do.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been.
They kind
and-
of hinted at the dragon thing, innit?
Yeah,
When they
punching
actually
the
showed
dragon,
it.
yeah. And then also, like, the dubbing over of his is like,
Oh, God.
why did they do that? I don't understand.
They only did it once, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. They
They
probably
could've-
saw it and were like, yeah, we can't do this again.
But they could have literally just,
Oh,
they could have
mate.
been like, look, mate,
could have been like,
you've
They could have just learned this
yeah,
sentence.
exactly. You just had to learn this one sentence, say it fluently, just say it in the mirror like
Yeah.
100 times and you will get it spot on.
So good.
And like you said, I think Obi, like the Meachams are the most interesting part.
Yeah,
They
of
were.
it.
Although the ending is ridiculous. Davos and...
Enjoy, yeah. I rate the guy who... What's the guy... Joy's brother. What's his name?
Ward.
Ward. I rate him.
he was sick,
I rate
actually.
him.
He was well...
He
the
was
dad
really
and him were
Yeah.
on point. Like, the way the dad was so scared of, like, the hand, and then...
Madame Gao. She's
Yeah.
a strong villain.
I was literally just about to say, is Madame Gao a shout for...
Yeah, strongest villain.
She's still alive as well, isn't it?
Well, we're
Probably.
assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's tough to talk about like the worst TV because I think one of you mentioned it on the chat. Like you just stop watching.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it came out in 2017. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt series 3.
Do you know what? I watched series 1 of that and I quite enjoyed it, but I just never kept watching it.
Series 1 is really good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Kimmy Schmidt is this like kooky kind of sweet girl trying to find a way in New York, and like she meets Titus, who's
These
her
jokes.
like gay best friend, and like he's so funny. Like the stuff he comes out with, like Pinot Noir, caviar, sugar cigar. Like it's just like it's really funny and like really oddball. And the characters are interesting, and it's like quite a light-hearted, optimistic kind of program. Second series kind of continues that. It's fine. Kind of what I think that's more about her meeting her mother and stuff. And in series 3, just doesn't continue any of the stuff that you really like about it. Like the jokes just don't come off. Like they try and force all the stuff. They're like, oh, you really like this stuff from the first 2 series, so we're just gonna keep throwing this in, and it kind of made you look less fondly back at it. Do you know what I mean? And it was just so disappointing. And it was only like a few episodes, so I watched all of it, but if there's a series 4, I probably won't watch it. Like I've
got another one for you.
Oh yeah,
obviously House of Cards.
Oh god, House of Cards was bad. Yeah, very bad.
I liked it, but yeah.
Shame we won't get a conclusion now, eh?
Shit, yeah.
For me, what was the best part of House of Cards was the scheming that Frank Underwood did
watching him
to
get to the top.
up to the top.
Do you know what though?
When he would have meetings with people and be like, "Well, I've got this dirt on you, and I'm moving you to here,"
and then do the
here
little thing where he faces the camera and starts chatting.
Yeah,
saying,
and then I liked Mahershala Ali's character in that. I liked the female senator. Not Leanne, the freckly woman.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Can't remember.
The one who was with Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, so they were interesting. And then when he got to be president, I was like...
We did say this, that I'm sure we said this, that once he's there, it's going to be hard to maintain a series, coherently. But do you know what? Almost redemption of it, but not really a redemption. It was kind of like the point of which the House of Cards had kind of been just going like that throughout the whole series, slowly going downwards. And in the end, where you find out actually he had planned pretty much all of this, kind of ups it a little bit. But so I've asked this before and I get it wrong every time. So have they actually finished a season of the next season of House of Cards?
I don't think so.
No, they were filming it when the allegations about Kevin Spacey happened, and then they paused production, and then...
So it's game over for House of Cards.
Well, I think they're trying to carry it on, but with just Claire Underwood.
Oh, don't bother. That is such...
I like Claire, but she needs Frank to bounce off of.
Yeah. And then, it's like the subplots with her and Tom. Claire Underwood and Tom.
I hate Tom.
That was boring. Like, this whole kind of, ISIS similar thing, there was just not as much scheming, and that's what the whole point of it was.
Do you know what they should have done? They should have finished it last season. Not because of all these allegations and everything. That last season should have just been it.
When she says, my turn.
Or you should have just seen a massive fall from grace from you should either seen him be so dominant and become a dictator, or you should have seen him just fall from grace or Claire Underwood become president, and just done. But I think because obviously you get so much traction from these things, you just want to carry it on, don't you? And it's just like, oh.
But then again, I think the showrunner for the first 3 series left for series 4 and 5 or whatever we're on now. So again, they're the ones who kind of maintain momentum, because they just wanted to move on to different projects. Yeah. So I think when something like that happens, it's tough to keep up the momentum. But should we talk about the best TV show?
Can I just quickly, give one more shout for what I think was one of the worst? The Flash season 3.
Okay.
It was really rubbish.
Why?
Looking back at it, it was actually really...
Is this Savitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty crap.
It was just boring, confusing. It was boring, and it was just the same, more of the same. We've got this guy who's really, really fast, and we have to decide how we're going to beat him. Oh, I know how we're going to do it. Barry, you have to run really, really fast as well. Great. And you find out that this evil villain Savitar is actually Barry Allen, but not Barry Allen from the future, but it's a Barry Allen that was a time remnant that didn't... It was just so dumb, the way they did. And they changed... I'm almost certain they changed who the villain's identity was halfway through the season.
Okay.
Well. Yeah. Because I was near 100% certain there was...
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Martha.
I thought it was gonna be Eddie.
Okay, that would have been. Yeah, that would have been. Because you saying that to me, I was like, oh yeah, I hope it is that.
I thought it was gonna be, because they hinted at it at one point, I'm sure, and I was like, that would be so sick. Because this guy,
Eddie from season 1.
Eddie from season 1, he got sucked into a vortex when he was pretty much dead, and he got sucked into this vortex, and you're like, oh. The only time we've seen him since is in Flash's because when he goes into the Speed Force, he sees images
Of people that he knows.
Yeah, that he knows, even though they're not actually them. So it's yeah, I probably agree with that. Also, Legends of Tomorrow season 2, I don't think was.
I thought it was alright. I quite liked season 2 actually.
I think season 3.
I think season 2 is better than season 1.
What was it? Season 1 maybe that was not. I can't remember.
So why did you continue watching Flash then? Because
I like Flash because I think series 1 and 2, like series 1 and 2 was so good. I think because season 3 was quite shit. I'm still willing to.
You allowed it.
Yeah, I'm still willing.
And they bring in so many different characters as well. Like they've got Plastic Man in it now, which I kind of find this character quite funny, even though he's dumb. But like they've changed it now. It's not Speed Stuff for the first time in a long time.
Thank goodness.
There's the bad guy. I need to catch up quite a bit, but it's a guy who can pretty much predict the future. So
it's one of my most disappointing ones. And one of my best is Arrow, actually. Arrow season 5 was really...
It's turned it around, hasn't it? Yeah.
Is that the one where it ends with the explosion on the island?
Yeah. That's pretty clever. But,
yeah, sorry.
I'm trying to think of a bad one. Like, did I say one? I don't even know if I said one.
Don't know.
I haven't really thought about it, really.
Again, when you have bad TV, you just tend to not watch them. Because, this is shit.
I mean, there's plenty of series where I haven't been as...
Inhumans was pretty full. I don't think it's pretty poor, I'm not gonna lie.
Does Black Bolt say anything in it?
Have you finished it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, I haven't finished it.
Does Black Bolt... Yeah, he does. Oh, Chris, do you give a shit?
No, just say it, go on. I won't watch it for ages. So.
He traps Maximus, which is Ramsay Bolton, in like some like dungeon thing, and then he walks out of it and he says, "Goodbye, brother," and that destroys the building. That's Maximus, isn't it? That was pretty cool.
So Maximus isn't dead, but they're not going to make season 2, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, that was pretty dull, I'm not going to lie.
Fair enough. Should we talk about the best TV?
Sure.
What TV you most enjoyed?
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be really hard as well, you know, because I can't think of it off that.
I think because we watch so much.
Yeah, I think I need to go through my Netflix quickly and just like...
a lot of new shows that have come out. There was, Legion. There was like... I mean, these are just the superhero ones. There was like Runaways, Gifted.
It's good.
Then, I mean, one that I really, really enjoyed and waxed lyrical about at the time was 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favourite TV show from last year.
Nah.
That's probably up there for me. I really enjoyed it.
I mean...
There was points of it which really annoyed me.
Like
the way she kind of like blamed him.
Yeah, I mean, it has its flaws.
Yeah.
But I think like the subject matter was so kind of important to talk about.
It was.
And
I feel the way what they did at the end was so graphic and so...
Yeah, that really like stuck with me.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you anyone who watches it will always like kind of envision that, and it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But realisation.
But you knew it was coming, but it was still shocking.
Yeah.
And like because
they could have done it such a different way though, couldn't they? They could have been like, she's gonna take a whole pot of pills and she's gonna be dead. Like, there's nothing.
I think that's what she does in the book or something. I think,
oh really?
I think it's more graphic in the TV show. But then that's what you need to do. You need to jolt people into.
Yeah, but then do we think it should have a season 2? Is the big...
No, I don't think so. I think it should have been a self-contained series because you find out what happens. I mean, I do think it was a bit raw that she blamed Clay for, he was one of the reasons why. But, I think
Sorry.
What's his name? Dylan. His name's Dylan something. The actor who plays Clay.
I don't know.
I thought he was really good. Like, one who plays Hannah Baker. Actually, the performances all around were solid. I thought it was really like heartfelt and emotive. Like the way that they kind of they do a lot of common tropes with American high school, but then they kind of it's not just the same old stock characters. They do have a lot of like tough themes. I really liked the Latino guy.
The one who died?
No.
Oh, the guy who plays his best mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, his nice car. I can't remember his name.
But do you know what? Do you know what I liked as well? Because I think when... And we probably have spoke about this, but I feel like when people are down on their luck, and things go wrong, you kind of like... It kind of gets enhanced a bit more and you're always like... Oh, everything's going wrong for me today. And then like some people kind of do that thing where like 3 things are going to happen to me. It's because it's unlucky, isn't it? If it's unlucky, It's going to happen 3 times. And I think... It does pick up on this quite a bit. Like, obviously she's had all these terrible things happen, but like it's always happening to her, and like she kind of tries to keep the morale up a bit, but she kind of still holds it all in. She doesn't really tell anyone, and I think that's quite strong because that's what I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people are frightened to tell people, and I think this program kind of shows you that
Yeah.
there are people who will help you, kind of thing. So,
But I think I remember at the time we were saying like other stuff that before we'd seen the last few episodes, is the stuff that's happening to her like enough for someone to want to end their own life? Obviously everyone's situation is different, but the things that were happening to her, like there were other things that were happening to other characters that were arguably, you know, as affecting or as kind of traumatic or whatever. Like there's that guy that the photographer, they start like bullying him because he took a snap of someone and then
yeah, so then he got terrorised for it.
yeah,
And then there's a
you
girl
just
who
basically caused someone to be bullied.
and then there's a girl who got raped as well. I know Hannah.
Yeah.
I know Hannah did in the
Her
end.
friend,
but
yeah. And then don't you find out at the end that the blonde guy kills himself?
I don't know if you find out he kills
He
himself.
shoots himself in the head.
Yeah,
but
he shoots himself in the
doesn't
head.
die.
Oh, he doesn't die.
No, he's just in... Well, we don't know if he does. He's in hospital.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you know, these tapes have caused a lot of people a lot of harm. And I think we question like the actual morality of these
I
tapes.
think I haven't really thought about it until now, but almost like when so many things happen to you, it can have like several different effects, and I think
It's
the
accumulation, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think for her, she held it all in, but she put them on these tapes, and it's kind of not. It's kind of like, you need to know what you've done to me, and it's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's not her fault necessarily that these people are now taking it badly, but I mean, some people could say there's different ways of doing it, kind of thing, but
But then also the fact that Clay was the penultimate person to listen to it, and the 11 people before him, and none of them said anything to the guy who actually raped Hannah Baker.
and also the counsellor kind of just dismissed it completely, but anyway, we've spoken about this in great depth, I think.
But it stayed with me, and I thought it was really powerful.
Yeah, and we
Despite
all
its
remember
flaws.
it. That says a lot. That
Yeah.
speaks volumes, I think, about the series.
Yeah.
That we all remember quite a lot of detail about it, and that pivotal characters as well.
Yeah. Any other like really strong TV this year?
I really enjoyed Last Chance U.
Yes.
Obviously, I know season 1 come out last year.
Yeah.
No, so 2016.
Yeah.
But season 2 come out in 2017. I really enjoyed both of them. I thought it was just...
Yeah. It's
Really
solid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, they're going to be so fucked season 3 because they have literally lost all their coaches.
Apparently, they're going to a different school.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, okay, we'll see. That should be good.
But it was nice. Like it was like that was just like a... Because I'm not an American football fan really, but even I was like getting enthralled in what's the name of the school? Bloody hell. I can't remember the school. But in their games and like all the characters and like I really wanted them all to make it. And even like to the point where like when I heard news about Isaiah Wright, who's in season 1 and 2, being convicted for well, I don't know if he's convicted, but he was arrested for homicide. I was like, oh, like it probably hit me. I was like, oh shit, like I really wanted him to succeed, and now this has happened to him.
Yeah. So a lot of these kids are like really struggling to like keep it all up, and I must admit some of them are pretty clueless in terms of like real life stuff, and
I mean the fact that it's real as well, and it's real, but you could, if someone watched it and didn't know it was real, you could forgive them for thinking that it was just like a regular TV series.
Yeah.
I would like them to, I know it won't be related to, but like the next season, I'd like them to show us where everyone is right now. Even that there was a woman there, she's essentially a counsellor for them, and she sorts them all out. She did a fantastic job. More so, I think, in season 1 than season 2. They didn't really. I feel like they.
I
didn't
don't
really,
think she clicked with the new batch of kids as much as she did with the ones.
But you almost got the feeling that she felt underappreciated and she wanted to do something else, and now she started her own charity, didn't she, or her own organisation.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, that's a good one actually.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I can't think of series right now.
I'm just going through
I want to go through my
Power?
Netflix.
Nah, not season 4. No.
Oh mate, do you know what? I'm watching How to Get Away with Murder I'm part way through season 2. I'm like, this is it's good, yeah, but I'm like, if there's a season 3 and 4, this is gonna be so. It's going to go so downhill so fast. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I don't know, obviously it didn't come out last year, but I watched How to Get Away with Murder last year, and that was, season 1 was wicked.
Season 1, season 2, and half of season 3 are banging. But then
He just goes.
one thing happens, and I'm just like, oh, fuck's sake. Yeah. And it gets a bit of shit. And I'm not going to lie, they need to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because it's just not...
Getting far-fetched.
Yeah, it's not cutting it at the minute.
I really need to catch up with Power as well.
What about Stranger Things? Would you say that was one of the better shows last year?
I think it was. I enjoyed it, but I think for the fact that I enjoyed season 1 more, it probably wouldn't. Like if I did a top 5, it probably wouldn't make it in my top 5. Whereas I reckon Stranger Things season 1 probably would have.
Yeah.
Riverdale?
Nah. Get out of here. Did the OA come out last year?
No, I think it's ended 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Rick and Morty?
No, doesn't make it. Not this season anyway.
No?
Nah, the other seasons, yeah. This season, the pivotal point was Pickle Rick and... Pickle Rick! God, hit me with more, because I can't see mine, because you
Big Mouth?
Nah.
I quite liked that. It was surprisingly frank about
it was.
the development of pubescent
It was funny,
boys.
but I don't think it makes the best series. It's a good one, but not the best.
Oh, surprising one for me. I watched a series called Future Man.
You got that on here, haven't you?
Yeah. Which is basically I think it's.
Did that come out last year or this year?
It's come out this year. 2017. Which is a 13-episode TV show it was on Hulu, so you can't really watch it in the UK. But it's about a young man, probably I think he's like 23 or so, and he's like has a pretty shitty life. He's a janitor at a lab or whatever, but he's sick at video games, and basically he plays this like in video game that's like impossible to complete. But then one day he gets to like, I think it's like level 84. He completes level 84, and then all of a sudden like 2 people come from the future, and they assume that this guy is going to be the person to save the future, basically.
Okay.
So this guy's name is Josh Futterman, but they call him Future Man. It's just like a mispronunciation, obviously. But so like and then basically these 2 people are from a time where like just life is fucked up, basically, and like they don't like really know what kissing is, and like they like eat like they eat like mints and stuff. there's what point where this girl's got a sugar cube, and she's with her like squad of like soldiers and whatnot, and she was like, if we get to the end of this mission, we're all splitting the sugar cube 46 ways. I was literally cracking up.
Is it a comedy?
But, yeah, it's a comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like made by Seth Rogen, so it's kind of like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
It's like 13 episodes, and it's just basically them trying to go back and forth in time. Basically, it's kind of like just Legends of Tomorrow. They're really crap time travelers. They're trying to go back and forth to try and change time so that the future doesn't happen, basically. It's actually quite good.
Is Seth Rogen in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, that actually sounds quite funny.
Yeah.
I need to check one of the best ones that I saw, which I only finished actually. I finished it in 2018, but it came out in 2017. Was Black Mirror.
Yes.
So series 4 of Black Mirror.
But that's this year.
No, it came out 29th of December. So it counts as
Yes.
2017.
Yes.
So that was 6 episodes. I loved Black Mirror in the sense that each episode you don't ever really know what you're going to get. You don't know what genre it's going to be. You don't know like the characters. Everything's different, and I think even though they're all written or co-written by Charlie Brooker, like he's just so imaginative, and each story, like some of them are obviously better than others, but each one like says something about the state of technology and how it can impact us in the future, or how it's currently impacting us, and the way that he kind of finds these themes within just the remit of technology.
Well, did you see? You know, so basically there's a episode in it where they have delivery cars, and these cars driving the street.
Some guy over.
But Pizza Hut have just announced with Toyota that they're gonna they're bringing out this machine.
Yeah, it's eerie how he does predict certain things. But you don't watch it, do you?
No, I don't.
It's really good. Like, so the 6 episodes this series were I can't remember the names of all of them, but USS Callister, which is the kind of Star Trek-y one, where the guy, he's like a CFO, chief...
Yeah.
And chief CTO.
He's chief technical officer, and he pretty much just gets undermined, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's kind of built this company with his partner, but his partner's the outgoing one, and he kind of gets pushed to the side and is not well respected, and no one really knows who he is. But he's built this platform where he takes DNA from people in his office and people he likes and hates, and puts them in this Star Trek esque kind of spaceship, and he's their captain, and it's like a virtual reality, and he kind of is essentially keeps part of their soul captive,
Right.
to like punish them because they mistreat him. And then it's about this new girl that comes into the office and shows him some attention, not in like a sexual way, but in like a professional way. And he kind of gets infatuated with her and like then takes her DNA and kind of wants her to be like his paramour. And then she kind of it doesn't accept it, and it's like that clash there.
And she essentially kills him.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I mean, most of these episodes are really dark.
Yeah.
Like some of the later two episodes.
So what were the episodes? So let's give a rundown of what the episodes
That
were.
was USS Callister.
Yeah.
Then there's Archangel, which is where the mother is so scared of losing her daughter.
She can see, so basically the daughter's got contact lenses in which you basically can't take out, and it monitors every vital organ in her daughter.
Yeah.
And so she can see everything her daughter's doing, and it sensor checks what her daughter can see. So
Yeah.
if there's blood, it gets blurred out in her daughter's eyes and stuff like that.
You can add a filter to
Yeah.
this.
And then basically it just escalates.
Yeah.
And
Because her daughter goes missing for a couple of hours when she's very young, so she's so paranoid of losing her again that she gets this implant in her, and then it's about how her daughter she's like a teenager and doesn't know what blood is, doesn't know what like sex is, and then she turns the filter off like the mum does, and then her daughter kind of spirals a little bit out of control, and it's all about that kind of letting go as a parent, and
Yeah.
like what parents should and shouldn't know about their children. And then there's also, I think it's called Hang the DJ, which is the dating one. So it's this. That was one of my favourite episodes.
it was good, but at the same time I was a bit like, okay, like it's clever. It's a clever ending, but
It's about this.
it's basically a dating simulation, and basically it's 99.8% effective. Like, it'll make you a match, and it's basically this woman and this man who obviously fall in love with each other, but basically you get this piece of technology, and it tells you how long you go on your date for, and it could be 10 years, it could be 10 hours, it could be 10 minutes, that kind of thing. And these two people keep finding each other, and basically through paranoia, they're basically meant to spend like 40 years together, and through paranoia the guy like checks
So
it.
essentially, yeah, the two people have an app, and then they both have to click to see how long
Yeah.
their time is, and then on like their third or fourth
Yeah.
meeting, they say, "Let's just not worry about that." But then he's so
looks it.
like wants to be with her for so much that he wants to know when it's going to
Yeah.
end, and then by finding out before she does, he pretty much takes away 50 years
Yeah.
of their time together.
But then the twist is, because they F the system, we're gonna run out of here, we're just gonna be together, whatever. And you find out it's actually that 99.8% effective rate is actually this app on the phone doing 1,000 simulations of whether you will match with this person, and
yeah.
998 times out of 1,000 they matched. So then they got linked together on their phones in real life.
Yeah.
So it was a clever twist. I definitely recommend these series.
Yeah, they're all really, really interesting.
So that's free.
Yes.
Then you have this one where basically this woman and man, they go to a concert and they're driving home and they knock over a cyclist, and they bury the body, they throw the body in the sea. 10 years later, the guy comes back to the woman's like, I feel really guilty. I just want to tell everyone she murders him, buries him.
But at the same time, there's an insurance lady who, like, through insurance claims, they can they put an implant in you, and then they can recall your memories, and then they try, because obviously memory can be subjective, they corroborate it with lots of different memories. So this is when Chris is talking about the pizza incident. So this driverless pizza car knocks a guy over and injures him, and then the woman who's murdered a couple of people has witnessed it. So then the insurance lady ends up knocking at her door, being like, "Oh, I see that you witnessed this accident," and then that's when she sees a lot darker parts.
Yeah, and then it just escalates, and then it has a clever twist ending as well. Then you have
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's it. Clever, isn't it?
So that's 4. The 5th one was the black and white one, which was called Metalhead. So where
That was the one where I was a bit like, you don't really know what's going on in this one.
no, so it's this. A lot of the episodes kind of start in medias res, so you like there's not a lot of backstory. They're just kind of it's presented as this is happening. And so there's these three people. They go into a warehouse to try and find something.
It looks very desolate already though,
Yeah.
so you know something's up, kind of thing.
To try and find something for one of their team. It kind of the implication is it's like apocalyptic, and then they accidentally awaken this robot, which then starts hunting them down to like kill them.
It's like a dog-shaped robot as well.
Yeah, and it's basically just a chase movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, and then
she thinks she's like succeeded, and then it all just
Yeah.
goes tits up pretty much.
and then the final one was called Black Museum.
This one disappointed me. Like, I had so much hype for it because it is basically a museum of all the Black Mirror episode items.
Yeah.
And I was like, it would be so cool if this guy had a hand in all of it. Like, he had manufactured everything in here. And obviously, he told 3 stories about 3 different gadgets. And it was really good stories. And it's really cool, like, how they've thought about all these gadgets. Like a teddy bear that you could have someone's mind inside a teddy bear. Another thing was, you could...
It was so this guy is a curator of the macabre and stuff, and he's got kind of throwbacks to all Black Mirror episodes, and he used to work for a medical tech company, and then to help doctors find out what was wrong with patients who couldn't verbalize what was wrong with them, they had this, again, another implant or something, like, and they put this hairnet on, and then they can feel the pain that the patient feels, but without any physical impact. So, like, if you're having a heart attack, the doctor feels he's having a heart attack, and then he can kind of treat. But then he becomes a sadist and a masochist.
Because he felt he had the hat on when someone died, so he felt the pain and relief of death.
Yeah, because apparently there are lots of endorphins that released when people die, but so then he got this like addiction to the pain, and he just he ends up like carving himself up because like he's so addicted to this pain that he can't get.
And because he's a doctor, he knows how to do the pain without causing himself.
Yeah, and then another one was this family, like the mother is in an accident and she's basically a vegetable, but then they take her consciousness and put it into the mind of the father.
So you'd have your mind and someone else's mind in your head.
But then
he gets fed up with it.
He meets someone else and he puts her consciousness into a teddy bear, which only has 2 responses, which is like, "Mummy loves you" or "Mummy wants a hug." And then the final one is this another consciousness kind of extractor, and it's he has this death row patient and he captures his essence as he's dying, and then like essentially sadists can come and pay to like keep killing this person over and over again.
But if you go over like the 100% limit, it will actually fry his brain like in his consciousness, and he'll just become nothing. Yeah. And they do it.
But I love that. I mean,
I did like the twist ending. I did like the twist ending, but at the same time, I was a bit like, I wanted more from that episode. Yeah. That episode could have been so much more. Yeah. But besides that, I thought it was a really good series.
It was a really solid series, and
that made me want to watch the Christmas special, and I watched that again, and I was like, that's a sick episode as well.
Yeah. I do want to watch the first 2 series because it was originally on Channel 4, and then Netflix bought the rights, and now it's become a bit more international. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, even if one episode isn't great, that it's not as if like that affects the rest of it. True. Proper solid series. Any others? So Mindhunter, that was alright. I was a bit disappointed with that in the end, because as much as it's about like the interesting parts of the police procedural, but the whole series was setting up for series 2, which I thought was a bit arrogant, and like not actually that much develops between episode 1 and episode 10.
To be fair, I could shout Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 4.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the seasons, man. It's so good. I actually didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did, but I just had so many laughs about nothing in it. It's just like the main character is just so funny, and his side characters like Captain Holt is just so emotionally less funny. Yeah. It's just the best thing ever.
He'll say like, haha. He's like, I'm so sorry, that was so unprofessional.
Yeah.
Or something.
Like, there's an episode with his mum in it as well, and it's just the funniest thing. And like Jake Peralta is just such a quality character as well, and Boyle,
Yeah.
quality. What's his name?
Terry Crews.
Is his name
Terry,
Is
yeah.
his name Terry in as well? Yeah, he's quality.
I love it when
what's
Captain
it-
Holt meets his nemesis, that little woman.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're looking decidedly sour today, or all
Yeah.
the insults that they just trade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start series 4.
Yeah,
today.
Hitchcock and Boyle, they're pretty.
Scully.
Scully, yeah, and then you've got who's the other? Who's who?
Diaz.
Santiago.
Oh, they're all quality. Like honestly, they're such a mix of characters, and it almost encapsulates a little essence of like Friends characters. Like Santiago's almost like Monica in the sense that she's so organised and stuff, and then almost who's the PA? Not the PA, but the.
Oh God.
What's her
Gina.
name? Gina is so almost like Phoebe on one level, but at the same time almost a Rachel on another level, and it's kind of like a smash of them both.
Did you know? Obviously, in the series, she's pregnant. Obviously, she's pregnant in real life as well. But she's married to Jordan Peele, and it's like
Really?
Yeah.
Who's Jordan Peele?
the guy who made Get Out. Come on, quick.
What, Santiago?
Sorry.
No, Gina.
Oh,
Gina.
Chelsea Pretty?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's married to Jordan Peele.
Oh, so that's
And-
why she got pregnant. Right.
Yeah. And her and so like in series maybe series 2 or something. She says that her and Jake grew up at school together, and it's actually true that like in real life they actually did grow
okay.
up.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's
Wow,
sense.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely one up there for me.
Any other shout outs for you, Obi?
I'm sorry.
Not really. I don't think for me, I don't think 2017 has been an outstanding year of television.
No?
Nah. It's all been good. Like all the series that I watch have all been, I feel like the majority all been good. There's nothing like there's not been a Game of Thrones season 6.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, mate.
so
That's so good.
yeah, all
Ta-
good though.
Tell you what, in this last December till now, yeah, I finished watching Scorpion. I finished watching Black Orphan. I finished watching
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, yeah, sorry. I finished watching Erased, which is also called Asian, that I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also like binge watched bare films. I watched Avengers Assembled again. Classic. I think I did speak about this. Obviously, I didn't watch The Foreigner, but I
good.
watched.
My
Yeah,
brother's mates in that for a
yeah, you
snippet.
said yeah,
Shout out Adam.
yeah. I nearly finished Sense8 because they're going to bring out a special episode to finish off the series, which I think is actually quality. They're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not got enough attention, so they've got to finish it. But I think it's humble that they're not humble, but it's good that they're doing it for their audience and their fans. They're going to finish it off. But I did watch The Martian, Power Rangers, Wanted, Now You See Me 2, and something else on that screen, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I binge watched there, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I loved it, mate. I loved every moment of watching these films.
That's like Christmas. I was just smashing out so
Yeah.
much. Like, okay, I mean, we're on 2 hours 11 minutes, and we've not even spoken about recent films. So should we just kind of list a few films we've seen since Christmas or whatever, recent ones from the archives, and then say like the highlights.
Yeah.
So I
So
mean, So for example, we watched Molly's Game, which I
Right.
thought was solid.
Yeah.
Great script, good acting by Jessica Chastain.
And
Interesting, very interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
And Idris Elba, of course. Pitch Perfect 3, disappointing. Very disappointing. Again,
They're
like
surprised.
with a lot of like these later kind of installments,
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of tries to continue what you liked about the first two, but doesn't do it as well.
Mm.
And then you're kind of like, oh, they're not trying to do anything different. What else have we seen?
I've seen Jumanji, which I thought was
Yeah.
really good.
I was
I actually
surprised
really
by that.
liked it. Yeah, obviously, like you got the chemistry between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, and also Karen. She is beautiful. She is so beautiful. Oh my god!
And the fact that I really liked,
And she's
about
an
that-
amazing actress as well.
What I liked about that film is it took the concept of the board game, which is quite now an archaic kind of not obsolete, but old school thing. Made it a video game, which is much more contemporary. They actually stuck to a lot of the video game rules. Like you had the non-playing characters.
Yeah, I like the
which
way they did that. Yeah.
they just had the stock answers.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, oh, so wait, do we need to go this way? And they're like, welcome to Jumanji. I thought that was really kind of funny and like that's not something I've really seen in film before.
No.
Like that truth. To
Do you know what I found funny? The fact that the guy who picked him up and dropped him off, like that is such a classic old school video game thing where someone will go and drop you off and you won't see him ever again. But once you finish the game, they'll just suddenly appear and be like, "Congratulations!" and like, so good.
And I thought the actually it showed that these people, like Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, are actually quite good actors.
I said this when I first saw it. Yeah.
So like,
they're very
Dwayne
good.
Johnson's playing this nerdy kid, and you actually kind of see that element of nerdiness
do you know
to him.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't at any point think. I was like, yeah, that is them. That
They did
is
really
that
well
is
playing
Fridge,
the
and that
characters.
is
Playing the characters.
that's the
And
only
like Kevin Hart being like,
character.
"Where's the top 2 feet of my body?"
Yeah.
And then like obviously Karen Gillan being this like shy teenager, and then I thought Jack Black playing a bimbo
When he was
would
like,
be
it was
really
good, wasn't it?
He was so good.
I told you. I know.
He was like, "How do you use this thing?"
Yeah. And like when he teaches her how to flirt, and it's
That
like,
was so funny
you know,
and stupid, but so good at the same time.
and like all of their characters developed enough for me to be like, yeah, that was actually a good film.
Yeah.
And I think the baddie was didn't need him.
Yeah, it's not good, but
No, he was terrible,
Maybe
but-
here and all there, really.
You had to have a baddie though. You had to
Yeah.
have something, didn't you? But yeah, and I like the way they brought the board game to life, like kind of thing. Like when that guy went through, he had his 20 years back on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what happens in the original film, isn't it? Like they go back and they
Yeah.
have their time again, don't they? So yeah.
I actually quite like Nick Jonas in that. I thought
Yeah,
he
I
was
thought
decent.
he was alright. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I watched an old school film called True Romance, it was released the year I was born. It's a Tarantino written film.
Yeah, we're born, mate. It's not just your year. Yeah.
Actually, I was the only person born that year.
Wow.
But written by Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott. It's about this comic book. He's like a nerd, but he basically he every year on his birthday he goes to see like these 3 Hong Kong martial arts films, and then he meets a woman in there who likes them as well, and then they kind of hit it off and fall in love. Like it's very kind of like they really quickly fall in love and really like they tell each other they love each other on the day they meet, and then they get married very soon after. But she
Sounds like Gavin and Stacey.
yeah, but it turns out that she's a cool girl and she was paid to kind of meet him, but then she's like, I actually genuinely do love you, and like, you know, all of this wasn't fake. And then
Who's in this film? Sorry.
Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it. I thought I might have seen it. Described it.
But
Secret Diary of a Cool Girl, innit?
he goes to try and release
TV series.
so her name's Alabama, and I can't remember what his name is, but he tries to free her from her pimp. So he tries to give him money, and then the pimp's played by Gary Oldman. He's like this dreadlocked guy, and he keeps saying like, "Oh, what, you know, stupid white guy." You know, he thinks he's black, but he isn't. And like, you know, you've seen Spring Breakers when James Franco plays Alien, like it's kind of that. But then he ends up killing the pimp, and then he accidentally steals a load of cocaine, and then he like tries to sell it, and then it kind of like the mob go after him and stuff. And but yeah, it was like a really I don't know why, but like the 2 hours just flew by, and it was really, really enjoyable, and I'd probably put it in one of my top like 20 films.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just really enjoyed it. Like a lot of it was a bit, you know, you have to suspend your disbelief. You know, like would they really fall in love that quickly? Would this nerdy guy really kill this many people?
Yeah.
But had a lot of Tarantino tropes in it, like what you like about Tarantino. Yeah, solid film.
Decent.
So, I watched like a few things like I just said. I can't remember if I reeled them off, all of them, but so I watched Power Rangers again.
Yeah.
It was just as good the second time.
And just as
However,
bad.
just as good. And but I must admit the fight scene with those Megazords was a bit like they could have. Obviously, they had to have it in it, but that was the worst part of the film in my eyes. For the second time around, it was just the worst part. I really hope to make a second one because I'd love to see Tommy Oliver. Then the next one I saw was The Martian. It's one of my favourite films. It's so basic but good in my eyes. Like getting stuck on this island and this
Planet.
He's a
He's a biologist, isn't he?
no, but no, he's a specific biologist. But yeah, he is pretty much a biologist and
Botanist.
He does botany, and yeah, I thought it was just a quality film, and like the different like ways they got to like look at media really, and like how they handle it and how they will look after this guy and all the troubles that he has on a foreign land. Like he has no idea what could go wrong and what could go right and stuff. So I really enjoyed that. Then probably more of an archive film I watched was Wanted. James McAvoy and Angelina Jolie. Really good film. Don't really know what to say about it. It's a guy who's very nervous. He can't really handle himself, but it's all because he's got this thing where he can actually almost slow down time.
Curving bullets.
Yeah, but he thinks this because he can see things like vibrating really fast, can't he? And it's actually his body slowing him down, so he can do all this stuff. And then they do this movement where they can just curve bullets. And I think it's someone who runs the organisation. Can't remember, but it's a really famous actor. What's his name?
Morgan Freeman's in it.
That's the one. Morgan Freeman. I couldn't remember his name. And he basically is just like fixing it all. Like it's meant to be an automated system that does it all, but
Oh, it's because they're assassins, aren't they?
yeah, they're assassins. And yeah, I thought another quality film that I watched. Does anyone remember the full film I said?
No.
On my list.
What have you watched, Dope?
Darkest Hour,
Oh yeah, we watched that, didn't we?
which was pretty good actually. Obviously, like neither me nor Chris know much about Winston Churchill beforehand, so like it's hard to gauge if what's happening is accurate.
Yeah.
But from what we saw, I think that it was quite like it encapsulated what I imagine Winston Churchill was like. I think Gary Oldman's performance was really good. Like it kept me like for spat again. Sorry for a story that's not very like action. It's not action packed at all. It kept me interested throughout the whole 2 hours of it.
There was like minimal comedy, but it was like comedy enough to keep you engaged. And I think for me, you can tell that it was an accurate depiction of the film purely because at the end of the film, majority of the audience clapped.
I think that's just because me personally, I
Do you think
just
it's just a good film?
because it was a British film and people know. But and when there's films that revolve around world wars, people normally clap.
Yeah.
It's the same for Dunkirk as well.
Yeah.
But
then
it could have been because they thought it was really
because when me and Ollie went to see Get Out, everyone clapped in that, and I was just sitting there like, what's happening?
Actually, that happened when I watched Greatest Showman yesterday.
Really?
People burst into applause.
Wow.
And I was like...
People that, to be fair, people that for Beauty and the Beast as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because we saw the first showing of it?
Maybe.
Well, I mean,
Like,
Greatest Showman's
of that
been out
day?
for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay, then no, I haven't got a clue then.
I think I saw the Greatest Showman of Beauty and the Beast, to be fair.
What did you think of Greatest Showman?
I really liked it, you know? The like, obviously, I'm told that it's not a very accurate depiction
No, it's very revisionist.
Yeah, of P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But I don't really care. The songs I thought were really... I'm assuming most of the songs are original.
They're all original.
They're all original. Like, I thought they were really, really good.
Yeah.
But even as soon as the film started, I was like, I was like, this is sick, because I'm into this already.
Yeah,
but,
like, there wasn't a single song which I thought was average.
Yeah.
Like, they're all
they were
bangers.
all really good. But yeah, the storyline was strong. Hugh Jackman was a good actor, man. Like, he was good in his role. I liked the undertone of like P.T. Barnum wanting everyone to feel like included, sort of thing. Like, there was I can't remember who said it, but once someone was saying like you need to like wear your flaws on your sleeve, sort of thing. So then nobody can use them against you.
But then, ironically, he was probably one of the least accepting people of them.
Exactly.
Like when he shuts them out.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't like his character.
Oh really?
Yeah. I really like Zac Efron's character.
Yeah.
Like Zac Efron's probably one of the most sympathetic people in it.
He's actually a really good actor.
How sick was him and Hugh Jackman's little...
Oh my god! They
They
do a little like duet. And,
he was so good.
when they're trying to convince each other to.
I'll watch it again.
That's the thing. Like, I enjoyed the songs. The in between bits I enjoyed a lot less.
Okay.
Because it was a little bit just kind of.
Putting a story in for the sake of putting a story in?
No, it was more like it was so obviously revisionist and like optimistic that they kind of shied away too much from like the nitty gritty of what it would have been like
PG
for
though,
these.
isn't it?
Yeah, but like you don't really see a lot about how the outcasts were treated and how they felt.
So their struggles.
They were really kind of to the side of the film when the film's about inclusivity and acceptance. It's mostly actually about how this white guy gets rich and wants to get rich and like wants to kind of progress his status. And it was just a bit like, you know, you're preaching about progressiveness, and it wasn't. But yeah, well, I did enjoy it. I thought, I was like, when that Jessica Lind, when she was like trying it on with him, I was like, boo.
Yeah, I was probably
Fuck you.
I was thinking, like, don't do it, man. Like, fuck it, no. But it's thinking because he was going down that path of being a dick.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, oh yeah, he's definitely gonna like get with her and leave his wife. And I was like, oh fuck. I was glad he didn't though. But that woman though is ridiculously good at singing. The
It
first.
wasn't her.
Oh, was it not her?
No.
Oh, that's wait. So
Rebecca Ferguson, yeah.
Oh.
No, it wasn't her.
that's peak.
I don't think, because I listened to an interview she did, and she was like, well, I sang and then they got like a proper singer to do it.
Oh, that's
And I
interesting.
think most of it's the singers.
Oh, I need to find out who that singer was. She was
Yeah, because it was
she was
proper good,
she was
wasn't it?
brilliant.
Yeah. There were parts of it where I was like, that's not actually them singing at that moment. Because I feel like when I watched La La Land, like, as much as you didn't like it, did you?
No, really.
I kind of felt like Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone were singing in that moment, and it was a recording of them there, even if maybe it was just really good dubbing, but
Yeah.
I feel like the dubbing was less good in this.
Did you kind of on topic but off topic? Zac Efron, was he dubbed over in one of the High School Musical films?
It was auto tune. So it's him singing, but they kind of like, you know, did little tweaks
Tweak
to
it.
make it sound a bit
Cool.
perfected. So do you know the bit in High School Musical 1 where he's outside of Gabriella's house and he sings? That's like the only time where he's singing without auto tune, basically. Which is not bad. It's okay.
Yeah.
But obviously the bits where, you know, singing Get Your Head in the Game and all that stuff is like... You know.
But when Zac Efron was like rallying around the performers, I was thinking that is a key moment where you could go, we're all in this together.
Imagine, that'd be so
That'd have been quality.
That'd be so funny.
I reckon he would have been well up for doing that as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
I liked him in thingies, right? Like him and Zendaya as well. They were
Yeah,
good.
that's 2 generations of Disney, man.
Oh shit, yeah.
There was these like young girls behind us in the cinema, and when Zac Efron came on, they literally went, oh my god. And then when Zendaya was like, they were like, oh my god, it's Zendaya. And I was obviously like, we grew up with Zac Efron in Disney, and they've grown up with Zendaya in Disney. But
They're
Yeah.
all growing up now, aren't they? One of them's in Riverdale. Like,
yeah.
and he's going to be in a film about being a mental kid, isn't he? You know,
What, one of the Zack and Cody people?
yeah, there was a trailer for he's come from a different school and he likes everything to be perfect and he wants to go to like Oxford and he for an essay he wrote like a 40-page thing and he turned on his teacher and
Okay. I also saw Coco yesterday.
very nice. Was it good?
It's brilliant.
Is it?
Yeah, like, so it's like a new Disney Pixar film about the Mexican Day of the Dead. It's like this guy who his great grandfather left them to be a musician, and then like his family then disowned that person and hate music, and but he wants to be a musician, and then he travels to the Day of the Dead to try and find his great grandfather to get his blessing to be a musician. But it's just like the songs in it were great. Like the animation is incredible. Like it's so colourful, and like the level of, I know it's obviously it's not like as realistic as obviously War of Planet of the Apes, but even though these characters look cartoony, like the level of detail is incredible. Like this boy is probably 11 or 12, but like the hair, like the kind of soft hair that you get when you're like just starting puberty, like there was that level of detail. Like he ate a satsuma and I was like, fuck me, that looks like a real satsuma. It was just like the detail was incredible, and like the story was interesting, it was emotional, it was like funny, and I feel like I don't know much about Mexican culture, but I feel like it was quite respectful to Mexican culture. There wasn't a lot of kind of stereotypes or parodies of, you know, a lot of all the voice cast is Latino, the co-director's Latino, like, you know, there's a lot of that.
Does it need to
culture.
all be Latino though? If you're an actor, can't you portray? I'm not saying it shouldn't be.
No, but it's kind of like, why would you voice a Mexican character if you're not yourself of Latin? You know, it's just kind of like
I agree.
opportunities for
Yeah.
that, you know.
I'm not disagreeing
Yeah.
with it, but I'm saying like as an actor, it's your profession to portray something else.
Yeah.
But
then,
anyway, that was just on a different tangent. But yeah, that's
but
really
it was
that's really good.
There are things, yeah, I just came out with it, I was like, oh wow, I was like so surprised by it. I was like the only one in there without a kid, but yeah, We'll
Cool.
definitely recommend going to
That's
see
because
it.
I want to watch that, Dinosaur and Moana.
It's a lot better than Moana. I wasn't.
But that everyone was raving about that.
Yeah, I wasn't that bothered about Moana. But yeah.
Okay.
Any other recent films you've watched that you want to shout out?
No, not really.
Well, we've done quite a bit,
We've done
and we
a
got
bit.
our screen unseen, all three
Tomorrow.
of us, haven't we? Yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah.
I forgot about that. What time is it?
8:15.
Why'd you have a lesson?
Go to the gym.
Always.
Work them, make them gains.
Mm.
Just go back in them gym. You can come straight to the cinema afterwards.
No, you'll go home first.
Oh, you know Obi so well. Right. Well, let us know what your favourite film and TV best and worst of last year were. You can tweet us at YSC Podcast 17. We're on Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and SoundCloud under Your Average Critics. And thank you so much for sticking with us for the last 2 hours and 29 minutes. And tune in next week, and we'll kind of get back to normal, talking about the films that we've watched in the last week or so.
Peace.